All right, now we are live. If y'all want to share, no matter of fact, I'm asking everybody to share the video right now. Share it. We are on Sarnetta Studios. You have an opportunity to share it to your Twitter account so that the people could get in, because we already know they've been not letting my links out for some reason. You know, they trying to stop this information. They're trying to stop it. So share the video. I'm sharing it to my Facebook and to my Twitter account, so that the people know that we are live. We on Sarnetta Studios. We are live right now.
If you're conscious and awakened, you heard about Sarnetta TV. If you're conscious while you're hating, some of us think too small, just too afraid to fall. If you're conscious and awakened, you know that the studio gets deep. Black news and history in the making. Let's get up from the fall, wise up and take it all.
All right, all right, all right. Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another Sarnetta TV House of Consciousness production. You already know what it is. This is Sister Sip Down with Napah Shadah, Black Women's Forum, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about some things. So before we go all the way in, I would like each and every one of my sisters here. I was about to say queen, but I got to pull up on that earlier. So I would like each and every one of my sisters right here to just introduce yourself right quick before we really go in. And I want to start with my sister Tazorapop. Introduce yourself to the family, and we're going to continue to go in. Go ahead, sister.
Peace and power. Shalom. How y'all feeling? Brothers, y'all all right? Sisters, how y'all feeling? You know what I mean? It's good to be back on Sarnetta TV once again. It's good to be here with some sisters talking about the issues that we want to talk about. Y'all, I don't need to spit my resume. Y'all already know what it is. I'm still here for the people, still fighting for the people, still educating, still mentoring, still lecturing, still gardening, still getting it out the dirt. So y'all already know what what else can I say? You know what I'm saying? If you don't know, just call your neighbor and ask about me.
All right, Sister Sheikah. Unmute yourself.
Hi, I'm Sheikah Atiba. I'm an educator in the DFW area, and I'm an advocate for equity in education. Thank you.
Sister Irene.
Oh, hello. My name is Irene Yvette, and I have a channel here on YouTube. I'm also involved in a lot of grassroots organizations that just work within the Black community. And I'm very pleased to be here for my first panel with these ladies. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Sister Valerie.
Hello, I am Valaya Nazar. I am also an educator for Chicago Public Schools. I also have a background in financial literacy, over 15 years in financial institutions, as well as owner of Body by Val, fashion, wellness, and travel.
All right. And of course, my co-host, y'all know her by the name of Napah Shadah. What's going on, Napah Shadah? Put this whole thing together. Let's introduce yourself for those who out there that don't know you. Let's go.
Peace and Black Power family, peace and Black love, and much love to the family. Shalom, shalom, assalamu alaikum, hotep, and much love to all the beautiful sisters that are gracing us with their time and their presence and their power today. I want this to be a wonderful build. You already know me. I don't need to go into who I am, but this is about, I will say that I am a woman's advocate, and as I'm sure all these sisters on the panel are as well. And we're going to do a bill today about sisters and about the issues at hand, things that are not usually spoken on. And if they are spoken on, they're not spoken on enough. And so I just am so honored to be here with these other beautiful sisters. And yeah, Sonetter's going to be leading the way. Much respect and honor to you too, King. Thank you for opening your platform to us. So yes. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I do want to say, because it's a sister sit down, you know, it's a cultural thing. As sisters, women, we like to sit together, do the kitchen talk, sip. So we're doing sister sit down, and that's where all the good stuff comes out. All the good stuff comes out when you're sipping. I'm sipping on some kava kava and ginger, little lemon, but I might switch gears to
no switching gears. No turning up.
Val, if she could know, I might switch gears and put a Mal back in here, but right now it's a kava kava. And I want the sisters to share what they're sipping on as well. And then we're gonna, you know, get the dialogue going. It's like y'all are a fly on the wall, and you just have three sisters sitting at the table doing kitchen talk. So I'll hand it back over to you, Sonnet.
All right. Hey, family, man, this is the perfect time to see what our sisters, our ladies, our women thinking. You know what I'm saying? So this is the perfect time to get into their mind. And when Sister Napah Shadah brought it to me and said, you know what, we need to have another sit down with the sisters. And I said, yes, why not? Give the brothers some eye candy. The brothers that's out there that's, you know, let them get a little eye candy or something. You know how our brothers think too. But anyway, let's go right in on it. And the first question I have for my sisters is, what do you think about Black women going out and protesting, especially at a time when Black men is being murdered at the hands of the police, at the hands of white boys? And I want to go to Valerie. Let's start it off with Valerie. Now, another thing, before you answer, Valerie, I want to let y'all know that I know my ladies, my sisters can talk just like the brothers can talk. And if I put the time on the brothers, I definitely got to put the time on the sisters. So I'm going to give the sisters 3 minutes to answer that question. And if you answer it before that, you ain't got nothing else to say, then you know what? You can just pass your time on and we're going to move forward. So right. Sister Valerie.
Sonetter, excuse me. Before we do that though, I just want to go around and sisters share with the people what you're sipping on. That'll be real quick if we could do that. So
okay, all right. Let's go, Valerie. What you sipping on, girl?
And then go on.
I have some water, of course, that you see me drinking earlier, but I also have some rosé sparkling wine that I'm sipping.
It might get turned up later on. Sister Irene, let's go.
Oh, I just have some water with a little squeeze of ginger juice in it.
All right. Yeah. Sheikah.
I have water. I also have Chardonnay.
She got that champagne on the side as well. All right, Tazora Path.
I'm drinking some homegrown merengue tea. I grow merengue in my garden. So right before I got here, I harvested some and I gave it over to my sister. So she's making it for me right now. I'm waiting for it to come.
Okay, that's what's up. And of course, you already know me. I got the gong, the sipping on something. And I'm gonna be good too. All right. So let's go back to Sister Valerie. And I'll ask the question again. What do you think about Black women going out protesting, especially at a time when Black men is being murdered in the hands of white boys? Let's hear it from you, my sister. You got 3 minutes. The time starts.
Okay, I definitely think it's very important for us to show that we are present. We're with our Black boys, we're with our Black men, we're with our Black kings. I mean, there can't be any men around here unless it was through us. So we have to show our solidarity. We have to show that we are with them, that we are not going to continue to let this happen, that we are not going to let them slay our men at all. They've already tried to take them out of our home. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. It's enough of them in jail. We are with you kings. We are behind you. We stand beside you, and we're going to fight for you. That's my time. I'm good.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what do you think about Black women protesting though during this time? How important is it? Do you think it's important for the sisters to also be out there, or just allow the men to go ahead and do what they do, and y'all get that food and make sure they good? Y'all have the water on the side and make sure they good. You know, you doing your part.
Okay. Now, I do think that the women should definitely be out there with the food, with the water, but there's nothing wrong with them standing and protesting and, you know, whatever comes with that along, you know, with our men, that we're just going to have to deal with that because, you know, they may tase us, they may shoot us, they may do anything to us as well, because we're getting dragged out of the cars right with them, because it's not just them killing our Black men, they're killing, you know, us Black women as well. So, you know, all the Say My Name hashtags, there's a lot of women that we have to fight for as well. So we need to be out there on that battlefield with them to let them know we're not taking it as a community, a Black community.
All right, beautiful, beautiful. Let me go on over to Napah Shadah. Napah Shadah, do I need to read the question again, or you good?
Sure, read it for me. Why not?
Okay. What do you think about Black women going out protesting, especially during a time when Black men is being murdered in the hands of the brute beats police, in the hands of white boys? Like, you ain't even got to be a goddamn police. You could just be driving along the line. You seen where them two white boys jumped out and shot the brother with the goddamn sawed-offs and all of that. So what do you think? Why you think is important? Do you think it's important at that same time, the protesting with the women?
Right. For me, I believe that it starts with the understanding of order. So first, as women and men, yes, thank you. As women and men, we need to make sure before we get out and do anything, we need order. We need to know where we stand with the brothers. And this is my take now, everybody. The brothers are our leaders. The men they're our leaders. We have a voice. We should not just be sitting in the house while, you know, they're out there, but we do need to have order and a plan. So if we have little children, both of us can't be out there protesting and we both get cracked over the head with batons, and then our babies are home by ourselves. However, you know, it really is that if a man says, okay, you will be here in this capacity as my, I'm talking about in a marriage. Now I'm talking about in a marriage or a relationship at first. He says, you stay here and, you know, I'll be out there. That's fine. But if we're talking about sisters, because to keep it really straightforward, we're talking about the sister Alawa Toyin, who Salau, who she was 19, she didn't have a man. She was out there protesting. She ended up being sexually violated and murdered. So let me put this family on the side and let's just talk about the single sisters, okay? So yes, I think a single sister should be able to get out there, because what a lawyer Toyin would want, I know, a lawyer to case on her.
No, I'm just keeping it up there so you'll see your time.
Brother.
Go ahead.
I'm wrapping it up. Okay, thank you. Thank you. She would want us to keep going as sisters to go out. The problem was the men we did not have an understanding of brothers protecting sisters and sisters being organized, like the Black Panthers. When they would go out, the sisters were very present. They were very, very vocal, and they were there protesting. So yes, sisters should be able to go out and protest, but you must have male leadership that functions in a way saying, yes, you know, if we don't have to worry about the babies at home. You can be there with me in this capacity. The problem was our sister was out there figuratively naked. She was naked without a cover, but 100% sisters should be out there because we have voices and we are powerful and we do have a way to have a presence and make a change. So there, that's it. Now show me my time now. I'm done.
All right, you got 20
right.
seconds, but that's
Oh,
cool.
I did it. Okay, all right.
But there go my captain in the he's in the chat room. I was saying that I wanted my captain to come in here and host this thing with me. But
Yeah.
you know, he's there. If he would like to host this with me, it'd be good because he had some good, perfect questions as well to ask the sisters, you know, about this thing going on. So he's in the chat room. If you want to come in and host with me, he's good. Let me ask everybody, please share this video. You got to share the video because as you can see, they not letting my notifications out. They trying to stop it. They trying to make it look like you know, the people are not interested in this. So I noticed that since last week. Share the video, please, family, to your Facebook, to your Twitter account, whatever. Let's move on up to my sister Tazora Path. Would you like for me to read the question again, sister, or you got it? Unmute yourself. I can't hear you.
Yes, you can read the question again.
Okay. What do you think about Black women going out protesting, especially at a time when Black men is being murdered in the hands of the police or in the hands of just white people in general?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. First off, I have an issue with the protesting, but I understand it's something that if we don't have a unified idea on what we should be doing, then protesting and marching has been implemented in our culture and our way of life here in America to make people understand how we're feeling with one voice. So I understand the concept. Do I believe that our women should be anywhere near the front line? Absolutely not. I think we've done that enough. I think that we've done it to the detriment of our children. We've done it to the detriment of our femininity. We've done it to the detriment of being the peace to our men. Um, so I believe that there's ways for our women to incorporate themselves in fostering a balance in our men going to war. Um, when you think about war, you have to think about the loss of life and the what's going to happen if the father and the mother are both out on the front line. What happens to our children? What happens to our elders? You know what I mean? What happens to our handicap? What happens to our ill? We have to figure out a balance in a way to be able to have our men be prepared physically, mentally, and emotionally for war, as well as us being able to handle. It's not easy taking care of a soldier. It's not easy. You go through, there's so many different things that goes through a Black man's mind, and especially when he's in a hostile environment. So if we're both in that hostile environment, how can we then keep each other sane? How can we then keep each other on track, keep each other balanced? I believe there has to be a balance. I believe that Black women have been taking on a masculine role in the household, in the workforce, and I think that's by white supremacy design. And there should be a time now where, as Black women, we realize we need to be in a different place than the places we have been taking. Right? Like, what's the big deal? Try something different. We've tried everything else.
I Empress. So what do you think the position of the sisters should be while the men is on the battlefield? What should the sisters be doing at that time?
Making biscuits. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. That's a joke.
Go ahead, sister.
I see some sisters' face. I'm just playing. I think that we should definitely be taking on a role of how to assist the soldier. Right? I don't think a lot of us have had that kind of understanding. What does a soldier need? What comes with going to war? What comes in with those bloody hands? You understand? And what comes with the mind state of a black man that knows that the color of their skin can get them killed at any moment. You can't go to be at war in the street all day with police, with your boss if you have a 9 to 5, with everything that's going on, and then come home and be at war at home. I think that as women, we need to be taking care of ourselves and our mental health so we can be better as being their peace and their peace, right? We shouldn't, the only time that we get along with black men shouldn't be in the bed. We should be able to get along with our man and understand what they're going through. And in that lane, they can understand where we're coming from a lot better as well. So I think our women should be preparing themselves on how to be an excellent helpmate.
Time. Thank you. Thank you. I'm interested in my sister Irene. I would like to hear what she got to say dealing with this topic here. Sister Irene, do you need me to read it again or you got it?
No, you can read it again, please.
Okay. What do you think about black women going out protesting, especially at a time during the your men out there being brutalized, being killed, being murdered in the hands of these white boys?
Yeah, so protesting is not something I'm for overall. I think it doesn't produce fruit. But with that said, if we're going to protest, I'm sort of with Napah on the idea that if you are single or if you are a woman who has children out of the home, if you are widowed and you're not responsible for any grandbabies or anything like that, then you're welcome to do that, right? But I've definitely seen women out. I saw a woman breastfeeding. You know, somebody gave me a photograph and it was a whole article, and she's out there breast exposed with her baby, which is the most vulnerable and irresponsible position to be in. You know, so I think there is a place. I agree with the stance about order. And I think as women, we have to recognize our primary position is alongside our men, but not doing the same things as our men. And a lot of times we like to take on male roles in our action, and that's inappropriate. When we are in a situation like this, what is equally as important as a show of force and strength is that the women are protecting and dealing with the minds of the children that are going through these events. Our main priority should be helping them filter through the propaganda, helping them understand what their position is as Black children in this, helping them process it and develop their minds so that when they grow up, they will be in the proper mindset to know how to handle these situations appropriately. I don't think that we neglect our main duty as women to go out and protest. Now, again, I'll reiterate, for me, obviously, if you are widowed, if you do not have children, if you are single, right? If you're married and your husband prefers you not do it, then obviously don't go. But in all of those situations, sure. But your hand is really needed with our little ones. And our little ones in the Black community are overwhelmingly neglected. And I know that doesn't make people feel comfortable for me to say that, but it often is the case. And that is because, and I think Tazarpath touched on this, we are displaced as women so much, having to work outside of the home, having to do other things, having to take on dual roles, the masculine and feminine roles in a household. And so that leaves our children neglected and vulnerable, either by irresponsibility of the parent or because it's out of the parent's control because they must do something. So I think if we focus and understand that our work can be equally as great without always being visible, and that a lot of the work that women do is not visible, it's not something that's going to get you accolades, it's not something that's going to get you on the news, right? But that it's important. And if we focus on that, we will recapture, and Tazarpath touched on this too, some of that femininity. We'll understand, as Napah said, the order that is needed to approach things in a way that is correct and pragmatic and not disorganized. So I guess that's where I stand on that. But I have to really double down on the fact that protesting to me yields no fruit. That's why we keep having to do it generation after generation. And so, but if we're going to do it, you know, we should do it in a way that makes sense.
All right. Now, Sister Irene, you said it doesn't bear fruit. What do you say when I say the marches with the Martin Luther King marches and the Rosa Parks marches, and when she refused to give up her seat. When you say it don't bear fruit, and you look at it today, 2020, because of their marches, because of their rallies, you now have Black police officers in uniforms. You now have Black men and women driving the buses that they tried so hard to keep us away from, where we had to go to the back of the bus. Now we driving the buses. So when you say it don't bear any fruit, I kind of disagree with you a little bit on that if you're doing it right. What do you say to that?
So I would say that, okay, so we're driving their buses, right? When we used to have bus lines of our own. So it depends on what you view as fruit. What Martin Luther King marched for, that ideology sounded good in theory, but when it was executed as a destroying of all Black infrastructure to integrate us into their infrastructure. It was destructive to the Black community. It was not helpful to us. So because of the way it was executed, whatever fruit it could have bore was not productive. And I think also we see that their approach to us when we protest is equally vile. The violence that we see portrayed now is similar to the violence that we saw portrayed then, right? Nothing has changed. So even their respect for us as a group has not improved. And so in that, I feel it's problematic. Just consider this: if we have to keep protesting and we're holding up a lot of the same signs, right? We're spewing a lot of the same rhetoric. We're asking for a lot of the same privileges and protections, then how much did we really accomplish the first few times around?
All right, let me go.
Can I rebut? Can I come?
Hold on, let me go to Sister Shaka, and then I'm gonna come to you. That's when I'm gonna have it open for the all in for one. Shika, my bad. I'm sorry, sister. Let me go to Sister Shika. And do you want me to read the question again, or you got it, Shika?
I got it.
Go ahead, Shika.
I believe a woman's place when it comes to these protests is right beside her man. Now, I do believe that you do need to be strategic in that I go, you go, we have to make a decision here because we both can't go to jail. We both can't end up, knocked over our head. So I agree with the strategy. The purpose for the protests and the marches and even a riot is to document the frustration. Okay. Tamika D. Mallory called out the businesses and said she don't give a damn if a Target burned up because you're not out here with us. Today I went to a conference. Guess what they had? Black Lives Matter on there. Now everybody has to pick a side and be on the right side of history. So I believe that a woman does have a place. When we look at history, women have always been in the forefront. Going back to Africa, going back to the beginning of time, women had their role in warfare and at home, okay? And part of a woman's role was taking care of the home while the men were away. So, I mean, I think that we do need to find out ways that we can be supportive, but right now we're dealing with, we're dealing with malehood who don't necessarily have the right role models. They don't necessarily have the right people in front of them to show them how to be men. So a lot of mothers are getting out there saying, I'm trying to protect my son. I'm trying to protect my nephews. And so when we don't have those male role models, we can't say, well, it's up to you. And there's nothing there, So we do have to strategize. We do have to get organized. I don't believe in going out there with no agenda to be one. And unfortunately, we've done that over and over and not had our paperwork right. But I believe that our place is right beside him if we can be fighting despite and documenting the frustration.
All right, I want to let y'all sisters know. I want all of y'all to get y'all pens ready in case y'all want to say something. Y'all know what y'all got to say. I'm going to come right back to Tazarapov. I want to open it up right now, free for all. Y'all can go in and just go in on this whole thing. Go ahead, Sister Tazarapov. You starting this thing off.
All right, so I'm about to get in the bag. Everybody
go in the bag. Go in the bag.
We did all our nice diddy. We did all our. We all nice, right? We all good. It's all love. Okay, so now I'm about to get in the bag.
Go in.
We got to stop this hypocritical type of talk. I hear a lot of Black women bashing black men about how they're not protected and how black men are deadbeats and black men don't have our back. How is a black man supposed to protect you while he warring? If you out there on the side of him while he warring, his concentration is going to be focusing on his woman, the mother of his children, or or you know, come on. How can you be that hypocritical that you don't realize that a man going to war needs to concentrate on how he's going to defeat his enemy? He can't be concentrating on making sure that your loudmouth ass is all right. You gotta find a way to figure out how to be productive in the situation. I know that if I'm somewhere and children are around, I may not be able to concentrate as much as I can on the enemy because I'm too worried about the children, right? So if we talking about if you want our men, all these black women out here that got a problem with black men and they don't protect us and they don't stand up for us and they letting us get beat up in the street. Well, how are they supposed to concentrate on defeating the enemy and protecting your black ass? It's time for us to realize that we need to figure out a way to take on a different role. Warfare isn't just being a soldier. Warfare has scribes. Warfare has infantry. Warfare has medics. Why can't we figure out how to learn other ways to assist our men into being productive warriors? Unless you want them to come back with their shield, right? Or you want them to come back dead on it? Like, come on now, we buried enough black men. So we need to learn. I believe we need to learn how to let our men focus on the task at hand. Most of the time, we put our emotional feet in our mouth and we distract our men from doing what they have to do: protect, provide. You know how many times I hear a brother saying, "My woman called me 20 times while I'm at work." You know what I mean? Or while I'm out doing something, I got to get call after call after call after call because we're so busy worried about who they texting or who they talking to than to allow them to provide for us correctly. And then they'll turn around and bash them because they're not providing correctly. Well, he can't concentrate. So I really believe that I think that doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. We've been protesting and we've been doing these marches, and now it's time to try something different. What's the big deal? We change our hair, we change our lip color, we change our drawers. Why can't we change the way that we attack this enemy in a productive way? Just try something different. But as far as being on the side of a man going to war, you're bugging. He's no way that he can concentrate on defeating the enemy if he's worried about you standing out there.
Yeah, may I want to jump in now. And the sister has a lot of great points. I want to say that I come from, there is a side of me that agrees with that, but we need to understand, going back to what I said about organization, because at the end of the day, all throughout history, every history, Israelite history, African history, which for me, that's both, women have been integral parts of war. I'm not gonna get into the Bible, but I'm going, because we have some Hebrew Israelite sisters on the panel, but I'm going to use Africa and I'm going to use Israel. I'm going to start with Israel. Judith was the one who went out right into the center of the battle with the enemy, with with another sister, with her handmaid. She took the head of the leader, Holofernes or Holofernes, whatever you want to call them. So sisters, we are important in war, but you see what happened in that case, it was a collective, organized plan. Women, we do have our place with the children first and foremost, but we're all under siege. Black men and Black women, both side by side, we're under siege. So yes, first and foremost, I agree with the sister Tazarapath, I agree with Irene, and I agree with my sisters Val and Shika. But I'm saying, the reason I say I agree is we got to put the children first. So you should not be out on the front line. You should not be out with picket signs and bullhorns if you have babies at home. However, for the sisters who are single, getting back to our sister who was recently murdered, and many other sisters who are out there putting themselves out there without any type of cover, if you're going to get out there, you need to follow the organization of our leaders, and those leaders should be men. Those leaders should be brothers, and those brothers should be organized and saying, okay, you're going to be here this time. I want you not to say this. Don't throw that. Stay this far away. And then you only out there for this amount of time. Got it? Got it. We listen. So we are definitely capable of being organized as soldiers, as women. Look at the Dahomey with the women warriors. Those were very, very successful troops of only women, because women have power. However, I'm going to say it again. I agree that you have to have you have to have priorities. You have to listen to your man. You have to take care of the children. But at the end of the day, every single protest, every single revolution has had a strong presence of women. And I'm coming to understand that we will not succeed if we don't listen to our men. We won't. The men that are leading correctly. Now, I'm not going to touch on the men who are just saying, you know, F those bees, let them die. Those brothers aren't the ones we're talking about, because those brothers aren't in this forum. Those brothers aren't coming to this conscious channel. I'm talking to my conscious brothers and that are out there that want to, that believe in the family unit of Black people, of our people. Brothers need to work on their end as men, organize, keep your women organized, and we can be a strong force together. So yeah, I agree and I disagree. We definitely can do it, and it's been seen throughout history that women have had a presence. I'm gonna let you know, Chica, I'm gonna hand it over to you, because I know you like to bring up Deborah. So go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, and she had a woman, Jael's wife, to put nail through a man's head while at war. So,
exactly.
So that's
not just the man, sis, the general. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay, but let me go to an example. He shouldn't be worried about me. We should know what each other is doing already. And so an example of that, and I'll use a protest example. When I was down at FAMU, I marched with Andrew Gilliam. Andrew Gilliam was the head of SGA at that time, not the mayor, not running for governor or anything, but he organized a march. He told us what to do. We're going to be silent. We're not going to talk. If you talk to the press, this is what we're going to do. Everybody had their orders coming down. So we knew exactly what to do, what to say. I wound up doing an interview for some news thing in China, but he said, don't talk about your personal feelings about Bush. So I did. I was like, okay. When they asked it, I was like, I can't talk about that, you know. But everybody was on one accord. We stayed in to the Capitol. Well, they stayed longer than I did. I had to go to work, but you know, it was just organized. I knew what I was doing. He knew what everybody was doing, and that's how you work. The men walked on the outside, the women walked on the inside. So we were strategic in what we were doing. I don't see that type of leadership with these marches. Not all over the country, but you know, they're trying to make efforts to go ahead and be organized.
All right, come on, sisters. Y'all got to be able to jump in here, man.
Well, I'll jump in. So Sheikah was saying that an important part of protesting was to document the frustration. And I think that that's a really valid point. I think it allows us a very clear sort of blueprint of what the societal issues were and who was petitioning for correction of those things. But I also think that if we're going to document something, the documentation must be for a purpose. And so when we look over that documented frustration, what we see is that the frustration and the source of it is repetitive. And so at that point, when do we scan through the documentation and go, okay, so we constantly have to keep, you know, it's like a child. If you have to keep telling them, don't touch that, don't touch that, don't touch that, eventually you have to do something other than say, don't touch that, because you realize I've been repeating myself a lot, right? I have a history of having to tell you to not do this same thing. So clearly me talking to you and protesting about it is not working. So I need to get a new game plan, which brings me into what Tazarapath was saying, which is, I wouldn't compare protest to war per se, but I understand the analogy. But let's just say that these protests become violent sometimes. And when you choose to put yourself in a soldier's position, you're there to fight. You're not there to be protected and sheltered. So you should not have the expectation of protection and shelter when you've positioned yourself as a soldier. You should have the expectation to be fighting. And so I agree with her, it's hypocritical to place yourself in that position and then expect protection like you're not in a situation where something's going to go down. Don't be there. If you don't want to have to actually fight and you're just expecting somebody to swoop in on a cape for you in the middle of something going wrong. That said, I also feel that when you go to these peaceful protests, the mindset of the people there are to be peaceful. So they're trying to be submissive and passive. Their goal is not to protect nor really fight. So you can't expect a lot from a crowd of people who have already gone there with the mindset that we are going to be subdued and kind about the message we're relaying. So to expect strength to come out of that with any sort of regularity, I think is a fallacy in the women who are attending. They're not there with guns to make it happen. They're there to be peaceful and, you know, to protest with signs and to talk and to chant, you know what I mean? And things like that. And I think the last thing that's really important, just as we're considering, you know, as Black women, when we go there, what is the purpose of the protest? Like, what is really the purpose? Is sometimes we don't realize that we revalidate the status quo by approaching them as if they have options in this thing, right? So a protest is really like, you know, my kids did it to me last night. They came to me and they wanted a sleepover and I had said no. So they came to protest because they recognized I had the power to grant or not grant them their request. So are we reestablishing that hierarchy of power that has not worked for us by engaging in these behaviors? And do we want to model that for our youth?
All right, Valerie, you want to jump in or you good on this one?
Yeah, I definitely want to jump in. Now, I guess I just have a question. Did they feel as if your children, I'm talking to you, Irene, if they weren't being heard, or it's just that they wanted you to change your mind? Because pretty much the rioting and protesting is because we haven't been heard. And, you know, with the promises of freedom for all, for equality and all of this, justice for all, we have not gotten that. We have not been heard. So, you know, failure to hear that, we have to do something in response to it. And yes, I'm with you with the organized protest, having something that lets us know what the goal is in mind. And it, you know, I mean, but at the same time, I'm not opposed to the fact that if you're not listening and you're not taking the heed of me saying it in a manner in which you're accustomed to, then I have to do other things. So if violence is what becomes of that, unfortunately, that's what has to happen in order for you to get it. And in order for you to understand where we're coming from, we can't just sit idle. We can't just continue to go on as status quo because it hasn't gotten us too far. So we have to do something more than just this. You know, it unfortunately, there will probably be more bloodshed in order for it to get to the point where they see it. They already see it televised that they're killing us. But is that enough? Because to me, it's not enough white people that are actually standing up for us and saying no more. They're getting paid to say no more. So we don't want that. And that's why we have to come together with our kings and our queens and come to an understanding and a respect for one another first, and then figure out our game plan from that, you know, moving forward, because this is not going to stop unless we stop it.
Yes. First of all, let me say, yeah, YouTube really got me blocked. I'm looking at them right now. Can I say something
quickly, Sanetta?
Hold up. YouTube really got me blocked, and I'm looking at it right now, but I'm going to get past. We're going to get through this. Go ahead, Tezoropath.
Well, maybe, you know what? We've been duped. The black women have been duped. Okay, they suckered us into believing that if we joined in their causes, we joined in their feminist causes, if we joined in their rallies to give them the numbers, then they would give us a safety net. We've been duped. Your white daddy has turned on you. Okay, and we need to realize that all those numbers that we gave them and all of that time we spent online to get their welfare check and their Section 8 and those promises of we're going to take care of you even if we kill all your men, we've been duped. Okay, we've been suckered into believing that we were going to have somebody that had our back even if all our men were dead. You know, and that's where we're at right now. We have to do something different. You take your ass out there and standing on the front line, and we're all going to be dead. And all they're going to do is take our children and cut them up and sell their body and sell their organs and sex traffic them and do everything else that they've been doing to us as Black people. We've been duped. The feminist movement, Martin Luther King, first off, the marches and the rallies that we're trying to be like, which is unbelievable to me, was the fostering in of integration. Integration is one of the worst things that ever happened to the Black community ever. Martin Luther King wasn't out there marching for your Black ass. He was more out there marching to sleep with white women. That's what he was doing. He was out there marching to get accepted by our enemy. That's what he was doing. He was out there marching to get accepted by our enemy. And now we're mimicking that. We still want to be accepted by a white daddy. White daddy, please. Y'all still killing us, please. We good now. We please just take us. Don't do us like this no more. Who has enough? When do you get tired? And one of the things I've heard all my life from Black women, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Well, I don't believe you no more, Black woman. I feel like you dig being sick and tired, and you dig saying that you sick and tired because we're not trying to do anything different. We've been duped. The white man is not going to help us out. They don't got our back. They are not our safety net. Our safety net is the Black man. Our safety net is our Black children and our Black family. And if we don't figure out a way to have a survival tactics for that, then we're still going to be on some white man's line asking for somebody to give us something. All those people that was out there protesting, if they told you your welfare, if we caught you on camera rallying and protesting, we gonna cut off your welfare. We gonna cut off your WIC, or we gonna cut out your Section 8. Your Black ass would have stayed at home. You'd have did exactly what that white man told you to do. So I'm tired of everybody talking about what we should do and what we shouldn't do, and it all comes from a blueprint from our enemy. It's time for us to listen to our men and see what they want. Not what some white woman feminists want to do, not what some white daddy want to do, not from what the masses say do. We not sick no more. We not sick. Us is sick, not we.
All right.
Okay, I want to add. I want to
hold on, Napah. Guess who's in the chat room? Neo is in the chat room, and he sent the shout out. The African brothers and sisters from South Africa.
Oh, yes. Much love to them. And tell them to put their information down.
Yeah, I already did. They sent it to my email. I want to move on to the next
I want to respond to that
question.
Hold on, Senator. We're doing a little dialogue. We needed to move on a minute ago.
All right, go ahead, because I got to go to the next question. Because we're still on the first question. Go, sister, go ahead.
Senator, I know that we're dialoguing right now, and it's important for me to say this clearly. We have been marching since the beginning of time as Black people, and it wasn't for the white man. The white man did not want us to march. Even in the Bible, we marched during Jericho. We went around the building and we marched until until it crumbled down. We are a people that do what we can under siege, and we use what we can. We cannot right now get what we would like to see is our men as soldiers and us sitting home, and our men armed and going out and taking down this enemy. But it's not possible because we're in captivity, we're under siege. So we utilize every bit of power that we can. And the power that we utilize is not just a march like back with Martin Luther King and peaceful sit-ins. They're tearing this place down. They're burning it down, and they should. If we get out there and we're organized under our men, the sister's absolutely right. I'm 100% about men leading, but it's not about sisters. When sisters get out there, and this is the issue where sisters, this is why I wanted to have this dialogue, because I heard the sister, one of the sisters with a very big YouTube channel, I'm gonna shout her out, Paris Milan, she was saying sisters don't get out there anymore. But she was saying it in a different way than what our sister Tazar Pat says and what other sisters say, stay home, let the men go out. She was saying like, forget these brothers. Don't help them. Don't protest for them because they don't care. And this is the problem. Brothers do care about us. Sisters do care about the brothers, but we need organization. We must have a plan. Sheikah said it beautifully. They had one person tell them, don't do this, don't do that. And then there are sisters that are sharp, strong, powerful, like all the sisters on this panel, and they listen because they want to see an effect. They want to rub the enemy the wrong way. A lot of sisters out there are on welfare, and I see a lot of women out there, they don't care about their welfare getting stopped. This isn't about pleasing the white man. This isn't the 60s feminist movement, the second wave of feminism. This isn't a peaceful sit down. We're going to stop being murdered by the police. Women that are not married with no children, that young, beautiful sister, I'm gonna bring her up again, the sister Toyin, Alawa Toyin Salah, she was a young 19-year-old sister, and her voice was out there. She believed, and she was also a Christian, she believed in her faith. She said, I know that the Most High is protecting me. I will not say, you are wrong. She died in vain then. If she was here today, she would say, yes, we should get out there. But the problem is she needed a leader. She needed, and I'm gonna talk about my sister, Irene. She needed protection. Now that's not exactly true. When you're on the, when you're out in the field as a soldier, you know you have your other soldiers that have your back. You do have protection. You have leadership. You have, different rankings. So if sisters, young sisters, I'm talking to you, if you want to get out there, get under an organized group. And this is coming from Napah, and now this doesn't come from anybody else but Napah, but make sure the group is led by men who are powerful, who are wise, who are strong, and who are willing to protect you at the end of the day. Just like as if you were a younger man. You know, people say, well, if you shouldn't get out there if you want protection. No, I'm not, and I'm not attacking the sister because this isn't just her sentiment. A lot of people say this. No, when you have privates and then you have sergeants, the private knows, I got to look to the sergeant for information. I got to look to the sergeant because the sergeant's going to make sure that I have protection of the other soldiers. So once again, this isn't about getting out there for the white man. The white man is very unhappy that we're out there. This is about getting out there because we're sick and tired of seeing bloodshed and our sisters are being victimized. And I'll hand it back over to you now, Sonetter, because you can ask the next question, because our sisters are suffering too. And there are single sisters that have a voice, that have power, and they're awesome, and they can get out there and they can be soldiers. It's not about the white man anymore. We ain't doing this for the white man. This is a different protest. All right, Sonetter.
Yo, yeah, I need y'all to hear this shit right quick. This is crazy. Garfield just called me and asked me, was I live right now? And I said, yes, I'm live, because he's shooting out the calls to let everybody know we are live. He said straight up, they are not letting him click on the live, saying that you can't get in the live right now. This is crazy, man. That's why I already knew it was something wrong with it, because it only got 227 people watching. I normally have 800 to 1,000 to 200 people watching. But I already knew that they was doing this when Sister Napah was emailing me, and I didn't even see her emails coming from this Sonetter Studio email. And I'm like, yo, they really stopping this message because they know Sonetter coming with the real. So they gonna stop this one right here. They don't care about all that conspiracy shit. They want to confuse your mind with that. So they'll let 1,000 people, 2,000, 3,000 people get in that. But when I'm coming with the real shit with these sisters here, they ain't trying to let the people, because they know that the Black woman is the original and first teacher of the planet Earth, and they know that. So we're going to move on, and I want to go right to Sister Irene with this question. Sister Irene, do you believe that the Black woman today is being fully protected by the Black man? Or do you think we need to do way more than what we're doing today? Like the white man, he protects this woman. The Chinese man, every nation protects their woman. But when it comes to our sisters, you hear records made about her. You hear how much she's a hoe and she ain't no good. But goddamn, you can find the same thing into every other nation when you look into their women. But you don't see them making records and stuff like that about their women. Do you think the Black woman is well protected enough by the Black man? It's on you, Sister Irene. And I'm gonna put the clock up.
Okay, so collectively, I do not think that. I think individual Black women can be safe if they are surrounded by men who are protective of them. But collectively, I don't think so. And I would go further to say that since, if you're a descendant of slaves from this country, since our ancestors have been in this country, Black men have never been able to fully protect us, or I won't say they haven't been able to. Collectively, they have not done so. I was reading an old slave narrative, and the slave was saying, he was speaking to a crowd of abolitionists, and he said, a slave cannot be a man. It's not possible. The very nature of slavery prevents it, right? And to some degree, when we look at a society where 70% of the people who represent the power in this society don't look like you and don't have your interests in mind, when we have, medical journals that were written, in the 50s and propaganda pieces, educational propaganda pieces, where they speak openly about how they would annihilate Black men if 1 of every 10 had the acumen of Du Bois, then we know that we're not in a situation where, Black men have power. And this is not even a perception of whether I think they have power. The thing is, men compete against other men. If white men are publishing openly, right, and are holding in educational institutions documents that blatantly say the Black man has never been a competitor for the white man, that's a bold thing to do in 2020, to just have that on your folio at your university. Do you know what I mean? And so that is saying that, Black men have never been positioned as such. Now, this is not to say that it can be, but I think the problem is that we are heavily invested in this system. It's hard to act from a place of power and submission at the same time amongst men, right? There's power in submission for women, right? But when men are going against each other, it's hard to be powerful and submissive when you are butting heads with another person. And so when, just think, when I think to our ancestors talking, I recount something where a brother was saying that the patty rollers used to go to the homes where they knew the men were married to rape the women, to show that they could not protect them. And so, unfortunately, I'll have to say currently, no. And I think if we're all honest, the answer has to be no across the board. Collectively, Black women are not protected.
Powerful, powerful. Brothers, this is the time you need to tune in. You need to listen to these sisters right now because, we going in. I want to go right to the shark. Let's go to Tazoropath right now. Tazoropath, do you need me to say that again, or you got it from here? Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. You can read it again.
Okay, I'm saying, do you feel that Black women is being protected enough through the Black man? Do you think we are protecting you enough, sister, or we need to do way more than what we are doing? Because of every other nationality, they protect their women. They are not allowing their women, the so-called Jews, even the Arabs. You don't notice, you don't see the Arab women in their stores. You see what I'm saying? All you see is the Arab men in these bodega stores. You see? She getting her little drink on. That's what's up. Let's go. Take a shot. So talk about that, sister. Do you think we are protecting our women enough?
Okay. I love y'all.
That means you get ready to go in.
I love y'all. I love black women. I love black people. I really do. Now, when we talk about protection, it's hard to protect something that don't respect you. It's hard to protect something that doesn't respect you. Okay? So when we talk about getting protection, I believe that there's black women that have the ability to be protected and by all sides when it comes down to our men. If we decide to listen, right? We want to listen to knuckleheads. We don't want to listen to leadership. We don't want to listen to leadership. We want to take on the persona of what knuckleheads like. We want to mimic what knuckleheads find sexy, what knuckleheads find hypersexual. We don't want to mimic leadership. That's too boring for us. We don't want to mimic that. We don't want to respect our men, but we demand protection from our men. You're losing your mind. If you can't find it in your body to learn how to respect the man, even if he ain't on no good, just because he don't have a job does not make him not the head of your household. Just because you make more money than him doesn't make you not the head of the household. You can't expect to be calling somebody a bitch from birth as a mother, as a black mother, calling your son a bitch, and then you elevate to an adolescent, and now you're calling the men that you're dating bitches, and then expect somebody to catch a fade for you? Are you serious? You expect somebody to what? Take a punch in the face for you, and you done acted out for years? And what I'm saying is fictitious. I want you to look at the climate and what we've been doing as black women, as far as the abuse that we've had to take. We've survived abuse. We've survived these things. I'm not taking away from none of that. But a lot of our black women demean our black men to a point of emasculating them. And then we want that bitch that you've been calling a bitch ass nigga to protect you. Bitch niggas don't protect nothing. They protect themselves, right? Now that I said that, I want to say this quickly. As women, we put ourselves in situations that we don't have to put ourselves in, right? As women, we keep trying to find this happy medium because the lines of masculinity and femininity have been blurred for so long. We keep searching for where we fit, right? We keep searching for this area where we're the boss. Right? We want to be the boss bitch. We want to be the boss. We want to be the head. We want to run shit. We want to do all of this. I see all summer, a hot girl summer, right? But then when the winter comes, you want a nigga to come shovel some snow. No, what happened to that hot girl summer where you didn't need a nigga? What happened to that? You know what I mean? You can't have it both ways. We can't keep playing that role. So when we talk about protection, I'm protected. When I felt like I wasn't protected, I was too busy trying to be a dude. I was too busy trying to act like a man. I was too busy trying to think like a man. I was too busy trying to be the boss of everything. I was too busy I felt so hindered all my life that I got to a point where power came from me showing that I'm not going to take this shit. And I'm going to make a point, and I'm going to do this. We don't have to do that incorporated in our own families. We don't have to do that. We don't have to act that way. I believe that black men love black women, and they would love to protect us like a fine jewel, like their most expensive thing on the planet. I believe they have the capability of doing it, and I believe they want to do it. But I believe that it's hard sometimes when you got everybody on your back and the thing that wants protecting. So I think that our black women, sometimes we just need to take our ass inside. You want somebody to protect you because you decided to go out at 3 a.m. and go to Waffle House with no drawers and no bra on, and then you get beat up and drugged through the Waffle House, and now you mad at black men because didn't nobody step up to protect you. You should have made some waffles at home, sis.
Time. Do you hear me, segment?
I do.
Okay, let's move on over to Sheikah. Did I say it right this time? All right, Sheikah, same question. Do you need me to read it again, or you got it? Dealing with protecting the woman. Unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
All right, go ahead, sister.
Myself, Okay, so are black women protected by black men? I
yeah. Do you think y'all are protected enough through us, through the brothers, through the black man?
I absolutely think no, that is not the case. Matter of fact, I think it's quite opposite, especially when you look at the rhetoric that goes on Facebook. I mean, you know, this idea that the reason why we're not real men is because you're not real women. Who's leading who here? Okay, that is the question. Who's leading who? Your manhood shouldn't depend on my womanhood at all. You should be the man you're going to be, whether you see a hood rat in the street or a respectable woman walking down the street. If she doesn't want to respond to you in the appropriate way, then you have every duty and right to leave and not deal with that person anymore. The rhetoric that we see via social media about Black women, you don't see the white man or the Hispanic man saying Hispanic women are all like this and they're all like that. Matter of fact, we only see it coming from our men. And when it comes from our men, this rhetoric actually manifests in violence towards Black women because we are the beast, like what's his name, Sotomayor will say. We can handle this butt whooping. This happened in Texas with this little girl. And the cop said because she was doing like this. So he dragged her like a rag doll and treated her. And now we did see some young men actually try to step in, okay? But they couldn't do anything. This man had a gun and they were pulling it out. So people dragged him back. So they were actually making an effort. But when I say, but just walking down the street, you don't know if that woman is brash or abrasive or completely submissive. This woman got slit on the throat on the subway. Why? And nobody did anything. It's funny to watch people fight and be world stars. You know, we need to get involved. There was one guy I saw. Well, there's been several guys that I see break up the fight, you know, between women, but it's not the majority of the cases. So no, women are not protected. And when we talk about leadership, unfortunately, we have leadership in the view of leadership coming from the view of men who are oppressed. Therefore, they don't even know what leadership is. If it's me having to tiptoe around you, walk on eggshells so you can feel like a man, that's a problem. Your leadership should allow you to know when you should be talking to me, when you should be making executive decisions, when you should lay out the vision and the mission of the family itself. If you can't do that in a family unit, how are you gonna do that on a protest line or in society as a whole? If you can't manage your family in a respectful way, and then I hear, I'm sorry, I had to go in on the Hebrew community because I did on my page, people saying, oh, well, you know, you're supposed to have a father-child relationship with your husband. No, that is unjust treatment. I am a grown-up. So when I ask you a question, I should be answered. Not that you have to answer to me, but if I'm asking you a question, so what are we doing? How are we doing this? Why are we doing that way? I should be receiving an answer. A child doesn't always get an answer. A child, sometimes you're like, do this because, or just do it. Now, I get my child answers because being in education, I know that that's how you make a child more likely to come along with you. That's called creating buy-in, okay? So any leader, if you consider yourself a leader, should want to get the buy-in, should want to know everybody following them is doing so, not because he has a penis and he's the male, but because he has been consistent in his leadership and his taking on of responsibility. So that's it. My answer is no. And I hope that we can do better, at least refraining from the rhetoric that's actually causing us harm.
All right. Before I come to Nepal, I want y'all to hear from my brother Garfield. Garfield, you in the building?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace and love.
Let the family know what's going on, brother, real quick.
Yeah, man. This is definitely a fight. The YouTube has actually declared war on Sarnet's channel. I tried to click on Sarnet to send out a blast on my computer, and when I clicked on it, it says the video is unavailable. That means the video that's live right now, it's telling me it's unavailable, so I couldn't send the blast out.
Come through, and it's not letting the majority.
Yeah. So what it's doing is there's an algorithm that YouTube must have set up where now Sarnet's channel is now targeted. And I think, Sarnetta, this goes back to your coverage of the riots. It goes back to what you've been showing. That's what it's going back to. So now you've been put on that list of people, and people got to wonder, why would they want to shut down Black News 102 or Sarnetta Studios? What is he bringing out that people want to shut down? And it's crazy because I'm watching the video, I'm seeing that you're live, but when I press the home screen, it doesn't say that you're live. When I press on videos, it don't say you live. I had to go back to my notifications with Dagger Squad that I got to say that you're live. And when I click on the video, I videotaped it. So you'll see it on the video that I sent you, Sarnetta. You could show that live later, where I showed you, I'm pressing on the video of Napah and the Sister live, and it says video is unavailable.
Damn.
Like you're not live, you took it down. So now what they're doing, they're trying to reduce how much people watch your channel because you are bringing out something that they don't like. And not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, because I'm far from that, but this is why the text blast is important. So what I'm going to have to do now is download the program on my phone. So when you send it to my phone, I'll have it, and then I just put the blast in the phone through my phone instead of the computer. So I'm going to try that tonight or next time you go live.
So you said I need to do the same thing Young Pharaoh did, and not contact.
Yeah, you need to contact YouTube directly and find out what's going on.
All right,
what is going on? And anybody who tunes in, press the bell again on Sarnetta's channel so that you get the notifications. And if you're still not getting it, then you know, oh man, it's some serious business.
All right. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate
no
that.
problem.
Thanks, God.
Peace and love, man. Peace.
All right, peace. All right, man. So y'all see it. You know where the real shit is coming at. So I want to go right to my sister Napah Shadah. Do you want me to read that question again for you, sister?
Yeah, you should just always read it again to us.
Okay. Do you feel that Black women are being protected enough through Black men? Or do you feel the lack of protection? I want you to just go all the way in, sister.
Well, I want to start with about us as a people. We're Black women and Black men are unprotected. We are, again, I like to always say, we're under siege. We're not a protected class of people. We need to work on that. And shout out to the brother George Macon for
but first of all, Napah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna start your time over. I want you to deal with the Black woman in particular. Do you think she's being protected by the Black man? Let's deal with the Black woman in general. Go ahead, sister.
I was getting to that. As I said, we as a people are not protected, the Black man and the Black woman. And I cannot speak on that question, answer that question correctly, unless I say, you said go fully in. So I can't just come out and say, oh yeah, the Black man doesn't protect the Black woman. That would be a disservice and injustice toward my Black king, the Black man. So that's why I prefaced it, Sarnetta, with saying we are not protected at all. So knowing so, a Black man cannot protect his woman if he is not protected himself. Now, there are brothers that are becoming disciplined, conscious, brothers that are learning about self. And these men that are probably, I'm sure, present in the audience, they know that they are equipped, they've equipped their minds to protect their woman. But I'm talking about Black people in general, the ones who have not yet come to the awareness of self and consciousness of self. They are not protecting their women because they're out there without the knowledge on how to protect their women. And now I always say slavery in the beginning, slavery, the woman was taken and the slave the slave owner was told to the woman, you are going to be the boss of everything. I bring you in the house. I talk to you about what, and then you go ahead and you go out there and you show them what I want them to know. And then the master took the man and he did buck breaking, reduced the brother to feel like he was not a man, which he wasn't. Like the sister Irene said, a slave said, slavery is not manhood. So with that, I'm going to talk about it again, epigenetic trauma, with that encoded in us. Then you have all the other social constructs set up and all this other program set up where the Black man, everything's geared against him, mass incarceration, unemployment, giving him, the situation with he can't get all the benefits that his woman gets as far as welfare. So with those set up, it's hard for him to even take care of himself, let alone his woman. Now, let me just get a little further into this. Then we have single mother, single parent homes, single Black women homes, who, like the Sister Tazara Path had mentioned, how when you're raising your child, the woman's under her dysfunctional mental illness. She's raising her young man, saying, you know, you're nothing, you're just like your daddy. Then she programs him into a parentified child, where she puts him into inappropriate responsibilities, telling him, now you're the man of the house now. So he can't even enjoy his childhood and develop in a healthy way mentally. So once he gets older, and he's the Black men that are around us, the adults, how can he protect us? So no, he isn't protecting us on a broad general scale. But again, there is a way for brothers to come to consciousness, to understand self, you know, whether it's through the Bible, the Quran, finding about, you know, being happy, knowing that they are Kemetic, knowing that they're Moors, whatever they do, they start to look introspectively and say, oh, I am a man. I am not a slave. I am not a prisoner. I am not subhuman. Then he will be able to step in and protect his woman. At this point, it's all dysfunctional. And we must keep that in the forefront, that until we heal our minds, we're going to always say, no, the Black man is not protecting the woman. And there's always going to be resentment. One more thing I want to say. Yes, there are sisters out there who are, they don't respect men. There are several sisters out there that don't respect men anymore. They've given up on the Black man because of programming, and because the Black man is saying, look, I can't help you, I got to help myself. Or all you sluts are the same, all you thoughts are the same. So it's like a cycle of dysfunction. We have to start detangling, in a sense, all the dysfunction that has been set upon us. So until the man leads, we're gonna stay dysfunctional. So this is why we as sisters should support brothers who are conscious. Any man, even me as a Hebrew Israelite, I know sometimes I say, you know, the Hebrew Israelite brothers get on us, but I respect any man who is trying to better himself and be a leader for Black women. So the answer is, they are not protecting us overall, but they're coming to consciousness, and they're deprogramming, and so there's hope for us.
Okay, real quick for Troy Ellis. Troy Ellis says, it's just, you're no better than the devil for deleting my comment or blocking me or deleting it. Troy Ellis, the only way my moderators will block you if you're saying something disrespectful to the sisters that's on the panel, or if you just say, we don't care if you disagree, you can disagree, but the only way they will block you if you are saying something disrespectful. But you are no different, Troy Ellis, if you are being disrespectful to our sisters or the panel in general. So you want to say you're no different than the devil for blocking me? No, I'm gonna say you are no different than the devil for being disrespectful. Let's start there. So I want to go right back to my sister Valerie. None of these sisters you will not be allowed to disrespect any of them while they are up here giving you this information. So my moderators know what to do. They know they're not gonna just block you because they don't like. No, they're gonna block you when you are being rude and disrespectful. So let's start there. Okay, so I want to go right to my sister Valerie.
Yeah.
Valerie, the question is, do you feel safe from your Black man? Do you feel that the Black woman is not being protected enough?
I do feel like collectively, we are not protected. I can't say for my personal self, I'm not protected. You know, I have a husband, I'm protected. He definitely is the head of the household, you know.
But hold up, Valerie. Valerie, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about your husband in particular. Because when you step out them doors and your husband is at work, I'm talking about from the Black man. Do you feel that you are not protected from the Black man? We know the husband gonna protect the wife, but I'm talking about when you step out them doors and you on your way to work and your king is already at work, do you feel protected?
No, I definitely can say I do not. I listen to songs. I see all kinds of things on Facebook, social media, you know, where the brothers are disrespectful. Just being out in public, brothers can be disrespectful if you won't talk to them in the manner in which they want you to. So I think we have a lot of improving to do. I don't feel as if it can't be fixed. They can't be shown. I mean, of course, as Sister Napah says, they're going to have to be aware of themselves and conscious. And even with that, they're still going to need to be those who set the example and those who show them what it's like to respect the Black woman as a whole. And as the same way, I also have to say, we're going to have to respect ourselves. And in that, you don't call the man a bitch. You don't be totally disrespectful. And you don't raise your sons calling him anything other than his name. So we have a responsibility within ourselves. We got to fix us. And as well as our kings have to fix them. So if we're working on that separately, then we can be better together. But we are going to have to work on ourselves because we have to protect ourselves. We have to protect our daughters. We have to show them how to be ladies, not how to be thoughts, not how to get Instagram likes, be ladies. And this is how you conduct yourself as a lady. This is how you conduct yourself when you're dating a man, when you are a wife. These are your duties. This is what you are going to be responsible for. And we have to show girls what it looks like to be still a strong Black woman and yet independent, because everybody, you know, may not choose the married life, but in that, when you do come across a king, you have to pick the ones that are going to allow you to be independent, yet at the same time, you can be submissive to them. And we have to be shown that. We have to show our girls that. And we just have to we as a community, we have to better ourselves. And then we can protect one another. Because that's the end game, protecting each other, not talking down on one another. Even if we don't agree, we can agree to disagree. But in order for us to do anything, protests, riots, whatever, we have to come together first. And in that, we have to heal ourselves and then move forward to come together to be able to be for the greater good.
All right. You know what, Valerie? I agree with you on this. I agree with you on when you said that we have to protect ourselves. We have to respect ourselves first. I agree with you because it reminds me of the days of the Nation of Islam. When that woman from the Nation of Islam would walk down that street and she's carrying herself in a high dignity manner and she got the respect of herself, brothers automatically stop shooting dice, stop cursing, put the cigarette behind their back and allow that woman to walk across. You know, in today's society now, it's like they don't even give a damn. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you when you first said that we need to respect ourselves. As soon as you said that, I thought about them days back there. You know, how they used to respect the sisters that was in the Nation of Islam. And a brother could be out there fighting, they could be out there shooting dice, they could be out there smoking, they could be whatever they doing. When that woman walked by, they will automatically stop and put that down and let that sister walk by because she carried herself in that light. A brother say something to her, she say, "Peace, my brother, how you doing, sir?" Like that. See, today you can't say that to a sister. I remember I was in the car and I wanted to ask this sister a question. She automatically assumed that I wanted to get her name, rap to her, and say, I ain't want none of that. I just wanted to ask her a question about something. And she just looked at me and just smiled and just kept walking. I think that's what's missing. But now I'm gonna open up the floor for the free for all. I went to you. Hold up to Zora Pap. You started it off last time. I'm gonna go to my sister Sheikah, and start this thing off. Open floor, and I want the brothers to get ready, get your questions ready, because I'm only on the third damn question. And I'm gonna put the link inside of the chat room right now, because we're gonna do a part 2 sometime this week, right on Sister Napah's channel. And make sure y'all subscribe. There go, the link is right there. Subscribe to Sister Napah channel, all right? Because that's where we're gonna be doing the part 2 at, right over there. And if you want to be down, make sure you hit that link, subscribe to Sister Napah channel, and hit her up. All right, because we're gonna do a part 2 over there. Now, let's go, sister. You're gonna start this thing off, Sheikah.
Wait, let me say this though. Because I saw in the chat. I shouldn't read the chat, but I did. And this is my hair, okay? It is not perm. It is not processed.
See that? They go to disrespect again. Go ahead, sister.
Born with straight hair, and we as Black people shouldn't be hung up on such things. Okay, my mother's family's from the islands. My father's family, they all mixed up. Okay.
Now, don't you feel stupid saying that? See that? They automatically assumed all Black women supposed to have nappy hair or whatever. But see, go ahead, sister. I ain't gonna. Go ahead.
So, as far as feeling protected, I think that we do need a leadership initiative. What is being asked of us.
This is a free for all. All of y'all can jump in and go in, y'all. Go ahead.
What is being asked of us to submit to oftentimes is chaos. So we do need to get organized, and we do need efforts out there to teach our young men and our young women the science of leadership. That was taken away from us. That's something we had. That's something that we presented, and it was taken away from us. And so now we have to build back on how do we get that? How do we learn the skills to build? You can't tell me that, oh, we should have our own nation and we should have our own this and we should have our own that, when we cannot even conquer the family unit. So I'll just start off with that. I'm gonna have to go though. I have to do that thing.
All right, yeah, you said you had to go earlier. Go ahead, sister. It's all right.
All right.
Who want to jump in?
You're leaving the panel, Sheikah?
Yeah, I have to go pick up somebody, but I'll come back if you guys are still on when I get back.
Okay, definitely. Thank you for joining it, and definitely gonna be a part of part 2. So much love to you, sis. Shalom, shalom. And yeah, I mean, if we don't have to do the dialogue, we can move on to the next question too, but Tazarapath want to say something, but then maybe we could move on to the next question.
Yeah, Tazarapath want to add on something.
Yeah, after she adds, let's just move on to the next question.
Go ahead, Tazarapath. It's on you.
Say,
unmute.
Can you hear me?
We hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear you.
The sister Sheikah was very had to explain herself, and I don't feel like she needed to explain herself. So I'm gonna say to all you head Nazis, all you niggas that's out there worried about somebody hair or somebody nails.
Get them.
That seemed real homosexual to me. Brothers that's got comments on women's hair and they makeup on and what shoes. I mean, I don't know where you're going with that.
I agree with you.
Whose beautician are you, my brother?
Wow.
So I got a problem with that. I just wanted to get that out the way because I felt like my sister felt a way. That's why she even had to speak on it. And as Black women, we've been getting put in them positions where we gotta kind of validate what we dig and validate what we like. After y'all decided to like all them white women,
go ahead,
all that straight hair, and y'all decided to go to them and lay with them, and then when we mimic it, now you want to be a hair Nazi. That sound real homosexual to me, my brother. You need to be worried about something else. So let me just say that. The second thing I want to say is about the protection thing. I want to quickly say this. How many? And let's just keep it 100, right? We talking sisters and men. We sipping tea. We talking sister among sisters. We keeping it 1,000. Let's keep it 1,000. How many Black women that got a man is gonna let your man go protect some single Black woman in the street? Hell no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not.
I would.
You gonna get that man hell. You gonna get that man hell. If that man come home with a black eye, why you got a black eye? Well, it was a sister getting beat up. What, you know that bitch? You sleeping with that bitch? That's what it's gonna be about. You can't even, your man can't even pump another sister's gas. What's going on? You know her? There's no way you could tell me that black women is gonna automatically let they good black man protect other black women. Oh, they want you to protect me. I'm your woman, protect me. But if it's another bitch, black bitch getting beat in the street, that ain't got nothing to do with us. Let's keep it 1,000. You can't even hold the door. Some black men can't even hold the door.
Now, but hold on, Sister Tazora Pop. I'm not talking about if your man is having a dispute with his woman. I'm talking about you got these crazy Negroes out there that probably a runner like yesterday.
Right, but how do you protect something and you know you're gonna get the business at home? You see what I'm saying? A lot of us don't allow our men to be good men. We want them to be good men to us. We want them to be good men in our house. But when you in the street, they don't give a damn about what you're doing.
Well, I can tell you from experience, when I was in the Black Panthers, we wouldn't allow that. We run up on Negroes easy. And if we see sisters being manhandled in the street, we wouldn't allow that. And I'm quite sure to Zoriak or any of the groups that's out there, they will not also allow that. If they see something going on, they're not going to sit back and just allow that to go down and let that sister be beat down or something like that.
We're not talking about black men.
Go ahead.
Acknowledge yourself.
Clear it up, Queen.
On the stance of leadership of the black family and understand what it takes to be a good black man in this society. I hate to burst y'all bubble, but we're not in Africa no more. I hate to tell you, we're not in Africa no more. The things that used to go on in Africa is not Black America. Okay, so we need to begin to wrap our minds around that. Now, when I'm talking about is good black men, I know good black men that have a dragon for a woman that will not allow them to even change a tire for another black woman in the street. They won't they won't even allow them to protect other black women. When we talk about collective protection, right? We're not just talking about our own individual households. When we talk about collective protection, that means all black men are going to have to be on watch on all black women, whether they know them or not, when we outside our homes, right? That's what we're talking about. I'm talking about if I'm getting beat up in the street by somebody and it's a black man that I'm walking by, I want him to protect me. I want that stranger to stop me from getting hurt. Right. Now, if we want that, then we as women have to begin to allow our men to be that great. A lot of times, women have been taught to be the instrument of destruction against black men. We have been taught to be that instrument. So if we're going to talk about protection on a whole, then sis, you're going to have to relax. He's not sleeping with everybody. You're going to have to relax and understand that there may be times that he might have to give somebody a ride home. How many of you sisters would be okay for your man coming home late because he gave some single woman and her kids a ride home?
Okay, I want to jump in, Sonetta. Just a second. I
jump in, but I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I think y'all black women got me a ticket because I'm parked in front of the damn fire pump just to run up here to do this interview. So I'm looking for $10 from my sisters to help me pay for this damn ticket. Now I'm only joking.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sister Napah.
Thank you. Yes, sisters, it's again a thin line. The last thing she said, I was agreeing to that very last part about driving somebody home late at night. No, that has to be talked about. But everything else you said, I was all 100% because yes, women, you need, I don't want to be with a black man that would let a black woman, watch a black woman get beaten up or not open the door for another black woman or disrespect. That doesn't turn me on. But quite often it turns on the black woman to see her man disrespect other black women, which is ridiculous because she doesn't see the full picture of, wait, he's going to disrespect her. He's going to disrespect me. I'm pro poly. I'm pro polygyny. If a man approaches me and he's married and I already know that he's poly and he has wives, plural, that are poly. He's got his wives already. This is an example. So I'm jumping on, I'm going to lamb back on what the sister said. If the man starts disrespecting his other wives, I don't like that. It turns me off. But a lot of sisters would sit there and feel special. And oh, if he tells me, oh, you ain't like her, and I don't, that is a turn off. And every sister should be like this. If a man disrespects his wife or another Black woman, he's gonna disrespect you. You gotta look at him you gotta look at each brother as this. Outside of marriage, okay, I talked about relationship thing, but I'm gonna go back to outside of marriage. If I'm in a place and there's a stranger and he's married and I'm getting assaulted by someone, and I see a Black man just stand there and not even intervene, I'm going to really think this is a coon. This guy's he doesn't care about his women. I don't want my man to be looked at like that by another Black woman. So 100%, brothers stick up for, and I got to talk about my sister Val. I know I said don't ask people personal things, but I'm going to talk about personal. Val, my sister Val has a husband. He's my brother. He has seen people come at me and disrespect me. He's happily married. He's a strong husband and strong father. That brother he stepped up for me. That is how every brother should be. He said, you're not going to disrespect his sister. He is a perfect example, Val. Really, Yara, how he's like, no, don't disrespect this sister. So yeah, I agree with the sisters. A lot of sisters don't like that. Like a lot of sisters don't like to see their man stand up for other Black women. And we have to stop that. We have to stop that. So I just wanted to jump in and say, yeah, I agree. But the driving home part, hold on. Yes, just because I'm poly don't mean that I'm folly. If you're driving her home late at night and you're neglecting something that we have, it's a problem. Because that's a whole different topic. Don't disrespect me. You know what I mean? Don't put me on a lower shelf.
He needs your permission, sis?
No, never.
Dialogue. If we talking, he needs your permission.
I've never asked him. No. Listen, sis. I don't ask. Men don't need my permission. My man does what he wants to do. But I'm saying him in his mind, I know I'm going to be comfortable with the king who will be like, the sister needs a ride home. Hold on. I know if I drive her home, I'm going to be late for dinner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to arrange for her to get a car home and pay for it. Or I'm going to ask this brother to drive her home, but I'm going to make sure that sister gets home. I'm not going to leave this sister sitting here. And then he's going to get on the phone with me and say, if it doesn't work out, you know what? I have this sister here because he loves me and he respects me. See, I'm not a footstool. I'm his wife.
That sounds like your son. That sounds like it's something you make.
No. It sounds like your son because you saying it sounds like a son because we as Black women are. Sister, let me finish my sentence, sis. Let me finish my sentence. Let me finish my thought. If he respects me, he's gonna say, you know, that dinner that we have for 9 o'clock, honey, I'm not gonna be able to make it because I have a sister here stranded. And because I respect him and I know he's my king, say, thank you, king, for letting me know. Sounds great. Make sure that sister's safe and then get home. So that's not what my son, and even if it does sound like my son, it would be my husband. So this isn't being in a relationship and respecting your man doesn't mean that you have to sit like a fool and you have 9 o'clock dinner plans and he's driving around the city, even if it's a woman or a man. He could be trying to take a brother somewhere. And you're sitting there at 9 o'clock. He said we'll be there at 9, and you're sitting there like a fool, and it's 10 o'clock, and he doesn't even have the courtesy to call you. Let's keep it real straight and narrow. If he loves me, he's gonna say or text me, baby, I gotta take this brother somewhere. You know how, and I know my man is real. I said, oh, well, my king's gotta do it. He's a leader. People rely on him. He's gotta do it. But guess what? He kept me in the loop. So it's not about him being my son. So like I said, if my husband sees a Black woman in distress, she doesn't have a ride home, I would expect him to use wisdom and say, if he has plans with me, or if I'm sitting there worried about him, wondering if he got killed by the police, don't leave me sitting home. That this last part of what she says, we're on that. Don't leave. Why does it keep going back out? Can you guys see me? Just the point is, yes, respect all sisters, but remember your wife needs to be informed. That's my point. I mean, we kind of went on to like a whole different topic, but I agree with you, sister. Most sisters don't want to see their man love and respect their sisters, and that's got to stop. So, Netta, if you want to move on to the next question, we can move on to the next question.
One really quick, short thing.
Sure, go ahead. Sure.
So I agree with Tazara Path, and I agree with what Napah said, but I think it can't go without saying that you can't have an unruly wife that you don't choose. You can't have a child who's raising a young man without a man giving her a child. So there's responsibility that comes from both sides. If you don't want an unruly woman who's not obedient, don't pick that. If you don't want a woman who's going to berate your son, then you need to be present or not give that woman a child. So women have responsibility, and I believe we should speak to that. But I just also want to level it by saying that women don't get children and don't become wives without being chosen, right? And so we can solve this real quick by not giving unruly women children and wifehood. And then they'll learn to stay in their place because they'll never be a wife and you'll never get a child.
Right. Perfect. All right. So, yeah.
I got one thing to say. Hold on. I got one thing to say because in the chat, Tazariat said that we can't be both independent and submissive. And according to Proverbs 31, we can do both. We can do both. Because
hey, Captain, man, you better be careful. These women, these sisters know these scriptures, bro. Be careful, man.
That's right. Proverbs 31.
Hold on, let Valerie go. Let Valerie go.
The man is out there working. We're buying homes. We're doing the things in the house. We're managing the household. But when he comes home, we can still be submissive to him. He is our husband.
Hello.
So we can do both. And trust me, Black women multitask. So we can do that and some.
All right. So hey, let me first say to my captain, Captain Tazariak, I need you to be careful, brother.
No.
These sisters up in here, they know the scriptures, brother. And guess what? Sarnetta allows them to teach the damn scriptures because the Black woman, man, is the first teacher, brother. So be careful, Captain.
Sarnetta, let me say this.
Go ahead, Tazara Pop.
Salam to my captain, Captain Tazariak of the R.I.S.E, home of the truth. And we've been talking for a long time, and I just don't feel right without being able to say this. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Now, when he says independent and submissive, we're not living in the Bible. Right? We're not living in the time of the Bible. We're talking about Black America and the programming of Black women and men right now. When you hear a Black woman say independent, you think of a whole nother thing. You don't think of the scriptures. We're not acting like the women of the scriptures. So we're acting like the independent, that's the personified thing that's going on right now. Black independent women don't give a damn about nothing, free spirited, do what I want to do, sleep who I want to sleep with, go where I want to go, don't gotta listen to a man, better than a man, I'm a boss, I'm a this. That energy comes with saying independent when you're talking about Black America today. We're not, that energy of the Bible and the women of the Bible speaking about independence and submissiveness is not the same thing. When the energy that's attached with being a Black independent woman is a woman that don't want a man, don't got a man, don't need a man, sleep with whoever she sleep with, go wherever she want to go, dress however she want to dress, do whatever she want to do, have no head, have no direction, right? And want to run her own shit, but then expect everything else that comes with that. I think that that energy that comes with calling ourselves independent now in this day is different from when we're talking about the women of the Bible calling themselves independent. So I think that that energy is something different when we think about that. I think that it is a conundrum to try to incorporate what Black America considers an independent Black woman and what considers a submissive Black woman in America today.
Right.
Yes.
I agree with her. We need to redefine.
Right.
Some people don't subscribe to the Bible, so I 100% agree with the sister. We need to redefine, replace the word independent with virtuous with the understanding that there is a sense of autonomy and independence. So 100%, the world isn't looking at it like Proverbs 31, but we up in here know it's Proverbs 31, don't we?
Exactly.
So, yeah, definitely.
Well, the scripture should always be in your heart, whether you looking it up or not. Whenever a teaching comes and it brings you to the Bible, that should automatically be in your mind and say, oh, hold on, I got these scriptures. If y'all saying that y'all living according to the laws, all right. So you always got to keep that in mind, whether you are living it out. I mean, you got to always live it out because you say that's what you're about. So I want to go to this question here. And a brother put this in the question, and I think it's a good question. He go by the name of Alex Fitzgerald. And he says, sir, ask the panel if the common image of Black woman infidelity in the home causes this problem. Do y'all understand that? Powerful right there.
The common image of the Black woman in the home.
Yes, the common image of the Black infidelity, women's infidelity.
How
infidelity in the home causes this problem.
Wait. Clarify the question a little better.
All right, so ask the panel if the common image of Black women infidelity in the home causes this problem.
Okay, so is there a common image of, first off,
right,
is there a common image of Black women being unfaithful in the home? I didn't know that was a common image.
Hey, that's his question. That's why I said
no,
his question. He probably feel that this is a common image of Black women being,
No, that's not a common image. That is an image that needs to be addressed. And there's a question. You can move to the question that we went over, Sonetter, on the list about should women have, should married women have. You're muted, King.
I got you. Let me go to this one right here. And I'm gonna tell y'all, this is gonna be the last question. I got 11 questions, y'all. And guess what? I am only on the third question. So this is gonna be the last one. We're gonna open up the panel and we're gonna do a part 2 on Sister Napah's channel. I'm dropping the link in there. Make sure you subscribe, hit that link, hit the bell. And if you sisters want to be in on the next one, make sure you contact Sister Napah. Here's the question. Brothers, get your questions ready. Sisters, get your questions ready. Are men and women equal? Because we always say men and women are equal in the household and we got to walk side by side. Hold on, no, let me ask this one. I want to ask this because I want to see where the sisters is at on this one.
Yes, sir.
I want to see where y'all at when we're dealing with this. Because, in the Kemetic community, we say our women is equal to us. We are all the same. We move side by side each other. I know in the Hebrew community, the sisters teach that no, our king is the head and we are not equal to our man. So I want to see how my sisters feel about that and think about that. Do you feel, Sister Irene, I'm coming to you first, that you are equal to your man, or you feel that your man should be the ruler at all times and be the head and be the king?
We are equally valuable, but we are not the same.
I got you.
Right? So I could have a pound of water and a pound of rice, and we're equally, we're both a pound, but I'm rice and that's water. So I think that's the long and short of my answer. We're equally valuable, but we're not the same. So I think a lot of times when we talk about equality, to use Tazara Path's mindset, like in the modern era, equality, right? We're talking about being the same. Like I could do what you can do. I can say what you could say. We're going to be the same. We're not the same. So there's no such thing as equality in that way. The way I move and the way a man moves cannot be the same because I am not like him. So I am equally valuable in my own right as a woman. And he, but I do believe that there is an order to things, and men are obviously at the top of that hierarchy. And that has nothing to do with even being a woman, like that. Well, it has something to do with being a woman, but that's more about the fact that that's any sort of relationship. There are no relationships where somebody is not leading. So you cannot have two pilots. You have a pilot and a co-pilot. You know what I mean? You can't have two people trying to do the same thing or it becomes disorderly. And so the hierarchy is that the man is at the top of that. Oh.
Great answer. I like that. Let me go to Tazara Path.
Yeah, what's happening? How y'all feeling out there, everybody? I'm excited about talking with the sisters. I want everybody to feel good and relax so we can have real conversations. I really enjoyed this bill. So, but you know what? All I can do is talk about me right now. I'm just gonna talk about me because I know what I'm going to say it's not gonna fly. Especially not for Black women in America. It's not gonna fly. But
say it anyway, sis.
I'm gonna say it anyway, sis. I don't want to be equal to no man. I don't. I don't want to be in what we like Sister Irene said, in this society, what we consider equal. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. I want to be able to not open the mayonnaise jar. I want to be able to not have to take the trash out. I want to be able to, I want things. I want men things to be men things, and I want women things to be women things. I know it might sound crazy, but maybe I'm old fashioned. Nah, I don't know.
That sounds good. I respect that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to have to be. I don't want to do the things or be what I can't run as fast as a man. I don't want to jump as high as a man. I don't want to do that.
Well, you got women that run faster than men.
Yeah, but I don't want to do
what
that.
You talk about?
I just want to be what I'm saying is I don't want to have to be competing with the person that I'm intimate with the person that I'm making a life with. I don't want to have to. We have to, as Black people in America, we have to compete on every aspect and every level. I believe in our intimacy, in our relationships. We shouldn't have to live that way. I don't want to have to compete with my man like that. So I think that it's separate, it's different degrees. I am just as important as my partner. But are we equal? I don't believe that that's the correct verbiage to use for that. I'm just as important. You know what I'm saying? I'm just as important to my school. The sisters of the ISUPK are just as important as the soldiers. You feel me? We don't make us lower or higher. We complement each other. That's what it has to be. It has to be a compliment. We learn how to contour the makeup on our face, right? We're not going to put black underneath our eyes and blacken our eyes, right? We're going to contour, right? We're going to lighten up underneath our eyes and let our beautiful melanated skin glow in other areas, right? So the same thing goes when we're dealing with relationships. We have to learn how to contour, complement one another, and not think about it in that way that white feminist, white supremacy wants us to see it. Wants us to operate in the aspect of, you could do whatever a man can do or better. That's white woman's liberation movement. That's not black women wasn't. That's not what we got assigned to that because they needed the numbers once again. So I think that my importance is at the same level. I'm just as important, but to talk about equal, I don't want to be equal to no grown man. I'm a woman.
Beautiful said. I love that. I might end up doing part 2 because I'm just thinking about this queen right now, and I'm thinking about bringing in Shahrazad Ali with y'all. Uh-oh. If y'all don't know who Shahrazad Ali is, and I know you do,
You know who Shahrazad Ali
go and
is.
type up Shahrazad Ali, and I'm gonna see if I can bring her in here for
The
part
Black Man's
2.
Guide.
And she will agree with damn near everything y'all said. She will agree with that. She will agree with that. But I think I'm gonna bring her in on the next round and let her rock this thing here for my sisters. So let's go to Irene spoke already. Let's go to you, my sister, Nepal.
Both of my sisters so far, I'm on 100% in agreement. Absolutely, that when I use the word hierarchy. There's a hierarchy. I agree that I love the analogy with the rice and the water. I love what the sister Tazarpa said about I don't want to be equal, because we can't be equal. We were physically created. Even I said this before. Somebody last time got upset in the chat. We submit naturally where we're supposed to, ideally. I'm saying physically, the even in the creation of a new life, the man puts the woman in submission. He is the one that submits the woman. He's the one that takes her over, in a sense. Not to get too graphic, but he enters and possesses her. So right there, just on that, and just in that alone, we must understand. Like one of the sisters, I think it was Tazarka, said, graphic. Why do we only get along in the bedroom? That's when she knows, hey, I'm not equal to him. That's when it's okay for the sister to be, in her true self. But once they're out of the bedroom, it's back to, oh, I can do what you do. No. But I love how the sister said we are equally valuable. That is my point, and that's a beautiful. Both what they said. I was just sitting here. Actually, I was thinking I might not even say anything. I might just said, yeah, what they said. Just move on to Val. But we are equally valuable, but we are not equal. I believe, now it's me. The man is over me. I like to be submissive. Real talk. I'm not trying to get all. I love it when a man tells me what to do and he knows what he's talking about. Just remember that part. You don't want a dummy telling you what to do. You don't want a knucklehead telling you what to do. But yeah, definitely. I don't think that. I agree with the sisters, and I'll if there's any time left, I'll pass it on to Val. So yeah, go ahead, sis.
You got the floor, Val.
All right. I agree with all my sisters. I feel like there is a hierarchy. The man is definitely the head. Definitely don't have a problem with being submissive to him. But of course it does. It has to be the right man. And you just have to understand that no, I don't want to put the gas in the car. I don't want to wash the car. I don't want to do any of that. I want to be feminine and be the lady. So, I take on my role and I'm 100% in it, and he has his things that he does. So, I just feel like as a woman, that's something that you learn. That's something that your mothers normally teach you. And as our kings, their fathers teach them how to be a man, how to, for us to be able to acquiesce to them. So yes, 100%, there is a hierarchy, and the man is definitely we're not equal to them.
Beautiful. Wow, we this is perfect. We closed out. We all agree, sister. I'm giving you all a virtual hug. I'm hugging y'all right now. Woo! Okay, yeah. Okay.
So now let me ask you the question: is the black man equal to you?
No.
I'm gonna reverse it now. I'm gonna reverse it now.
No.
I'm gonna reverse it. No, the first question y'all was asking is that I am not equal to the black man. Now I'm gonna ask you, is the black man equal to you?
No, I think we flip it either way.
I know. I'm only messing with y'all, man.
He's trying to trip us up. He's trying to stir something up.
That's right.
Now.
Well, in ancient Kemet, I'm not gonna even say that just because we seen them side by side. We see the black man and women side by side today. That don't mean that you know you're
No, because
equal.
it's okay. We can be side by
Yes.
side.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey, Nepal, me and you had a powerful build. Remember when me and you was building on that, and I brought up chess. I said, y'all don't understand that the black woman is the most powerful force on the board.
Yeah.
When you look at the black woman, when you say equal, come on, sister, let's deal with that right quick. When
Okay,
you
well,
say,
let me.
hold on, let me first bring it out there and I'm gonna allow you to go in. You know how you do.
No.
Sisters,
You said we're gonna
understand,
save that for the
hold
bill.
on. Understand, sisters, how powerful you are. Understand that. You may feel that you're not equal to the black man, but you got to understand your goddamn power on this board. Remember, even when you look at animal life for existence, for example, in animal life, it's the lioness that go out and get the food. It's the lioness that go out in an orderly fashion and fight that battle. Hold on, and fight that battle to bring down that damn buffalo and then hand it over to that king. So always remember how powerful you are. What happens, Nepal, when that spider
Can I
finish
speak?
having sex with that male spider? What happens?
Okay, let me speak on
Hold
what you've
on,
been.
Nepal. I want you
No,
to
I'm not
answer
going
the
to answer
question.
that question.
Answer the. See, now you don't want to answer the question.
No, because you know why, Senator?
Yeah.
You know why? Listen,
Yeah.
when we talked in our bill, thank you, goodness gracious, you agreed with me. Yes, we all four of us said we have power. We said we are equally as valuable. And the analogy that you used about the chess, the queen is doing that for a reason. She is protecting the king and the kingdom. She knows her place. But at the king is sitting and he is the most valuable because once you take the king, the game's over. The queen can get captured, but the game continues. So but it's a lot, but it's a grave loss.
Woo,
It's a
that's why I
grave
wanted to
loss.
bring it out to you. You going in.
So,
Go ahead.
Just
Go
move
ahead.
on to the next question, Senator.
Go ahead. Once you capture the queen, the game still go on, but when you capture that king, the game is dead. Go ahead, sister. I told you I'm gonna bring it out to you. Go ahead.
All right.
I
Bring
mean,
it
I
out,
think that we
Senator.
need to. I think we need to take an account that we're talking about things that are doing their role, what they
Right.
were designed to do. When we begin to operate outside of our role, that's when things get bugged out. When we begin to operate outside of what is natural, outside of what is beautiful, outside of what is nurturing, outside of what is mothering, outside of these things, then the lines get blurred and things get messy and things begin to look crazy. Right. So when you want to use an analogy about lions and the pack knows its place. Everybody is doing what it's supposed to do to work accordingly. When you talk about these other things, everybody's doing their part to make it all function accordingly. Just like a car, the transmission don't do what the engine do. You know what I mean? So if we begin to look at it as if we've been out of place and now we're walking in the place that we're supposed to be, there's going to be some kinks that we need to knock out. There's going to be some understandings that we need to destroy, and there's going to be some understandings that we need to build. But in the whole spectrum of it is to regain power in the black family. That's why we're having these conversations, right? That's why we're talking about these things. We want our women to be strong. We don't want weak women. ISUPK don't want no weak woman. You can't be no sucker over here. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we're talking about. When we talk about submission, we're not talking about you being no coward or being no sucker or falling for anything. That's not what we're talking about. And I'm tired of people trying to blur those lines. All of these women on the panel are strong. I don't see not one weak woman in the bunch, but that doesn't mean I gotta be like a man to be strong. I don't have to be like a man. I don't have to be on the front line. I don't have to be risking things that my man should be risking. And when
Well, I don't want no woman that's like a man and strong. I need a feminine.
yeah,
I need a woman
see
that's like
those
just
that's when the
sexy and
lines get
feminine. I
blurred.
don't want no goddamn
That's when the
masculine
lines get
woman
blurred.
anyway.
And
So
I think that this is a lovely representation of women that have taken back their feminine power and that understand that being a woman is it's okay. It's okay to be a Black woman and to be submissive. My submissiveness is strength. When I learned how to cultivate being submissive in a productive way, I get everything I want.
Exactly.
Everything.
I agree.
And
I don't have
family,
to.
I want to let y'all know the phone lines are open. Call it in. Don't call in to preach. Just call in to ask your question. Move on. And I got to go save my car. I probably got that $120 damn ticket.
Wow. Are you sure you got a ticket? Are you sure they
I
put
don't
a
know.
ticket?
I don't know. Being that the ticket crew is not out
Don't
because of the
think that it's
corona.
there. Say there's no
So,
ticket.
yeah, yeah.
Manifest the
Okay, so
reality that
call
there's
it in,
no
Miss
ticket.
Tiffany. I ain't see you in a minute, Queen. Call it in, and let's get these callers in. Y'all know my number. There you go. Thank you, my brother Max Berg. Thank you. Let's call it in and let's get these questions out to the sisters. This is a great opportunity to call it in. Ask the sisters whatever's on your mind. So just go move the car, brother. If I go move the car, then I got to end the stream. I don't want to end the stream because I don't know how long I might be down
You
there.
can't hand your keys over to somebody to move it?
No.
Oh.
No. So let's
Hand
go,
them over
y'all.
to
Let's
to your
go.
son.
Let's get it. Call it in. Who want to say something while we waiting? Irene, you want to say something while we waiting? Anything you forgot to drop?
I
Go
would
ahead,
like
sister.
to say that whilst I will co-sign Napah's chess analogy
Oh,
because I love chess.
I knew you would like that.
I'm a happy chess team nerd. I have to say, Lions do a lot of things that.
Hold on, you said you were happy what? You are what? You play chess?
I was on the chess team. I'm a nerd. I have a marble chess set upstairs that I love.
Wow.
And I will give anybody the smackdown. But with that said, the lion thing, I don't know about that. Because lions do a lot of stuff I'm not about to duplicate. Do you know what I mean? Like the men come in, take over a whole harem of women, kill or run off all the babies. Right. Like, so these animal references, it's like it works if you only point out one thing about their society, and then it stops making sense if we try to apply the other aspects, which means that I also agree with Sistar Path, which is they are serving their purpose, which is appropriate for
your caller just hung up. Goodbye.
Hey, Sister Irene, are you did you open up an account called chess.com?
No.
You can open up an account.
Call from.
It's called chess.com. It's free, or you could pay like I think $25 or something a year, and you play people all around the world. Look for me. I'm Sarnetta. And me and
is
you
it
could
virtual? Oh, you want a SmackDown? I understand.
Yeah, we could play. We could play
you
live
be
on
embarrassed.
the air.
Okay.
We could play live on the air, and I let the people see the game.
Oh, you want
Black Power
to
family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Okay, well. All right.
Yeah, peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Anthony Smith calling from Louisiana.
All right. What's on your mind, my brother? Talk about it.
Oh, okay. I wanted to ask the ladies a question. You know, the scenario you brought by about the lionesses. You know, we live in a different time today. The example you gave about the lioness.
Okay, go ahead.
Bringing home the bacon. Yeah. Okay. In this day and time, things have changed. Like the sister said a moment ago, we don't live in the days of the Bible. We have more successful women than we do men. They're bringing in the bacon. You know. Now, my question is this. Would a woman making $250,000 a year settle for a guy that's all man, got his act together and everything, but he only makes $40,000 a year? And the reason I'm asking this question because there are a lot of people that they run you through a credit check. Where do you live? What part of town you live in? What kind of car you drive?
I need you to ask a question right quick.
That is the question. Are there many women out there, or would any of the women on the panel marry a guy that only makes $40,000 a year if she's making, say, $250,000?
Okay, are we answering the question?
All right. You can hang up and listen to the answer, brother. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right. Tazoropath.
I'm married, and whether my husband makes $1 million a year or 0 a year, he is still the head of my life, the head of my household.
Hey.
If he never gets another white man's job ever again, he's still the head of my life, the head of my household. That doesn't apply to me. It
Awesome.
doesn't apply to our belief systems. I believe that has been a tool of our mortal enemy to incorporate that kind of thinking in our women's minds. If I make more money, then I'm the boss, right? If I make more money, then I'm the head of household. No, that's not how it goes. So to me, my black man, my great and awesome black warrior king is going to be the head of my life, whether he make another white man dollar or not.
All right. Anybody else want to elaborate before I bring on the next caller?
I would like to. Oh, you want to speak on that?
No, go ahead. I
Go,
can go after you.
So I don't believe that relationships should be based on how much a person makes. That question is it's a good question because the way this our society is set up, many black women are more financially successful than their counterparts, their black man. So I don't think anyone, and men or women, should come into a relationship, basing it on, how am I going to treat you based on how much money you make? So with a woman, most black women, if not all, I shouldn't say all, most black women are with men who are not making the same amount of money as they make. That doesn't factor in on how you respect and how you treat your man. If you believe that your man is your head, and if you've submitted to him, you've already been, you're with him, you've married him, you've laid down with him, you have an obligation to be submissive and to let him lead you. So I hope that answers his question. I wasn't sure if he was saying, should women get with men that make less? Or if a woman is with a man that makes less, does she change the way she treats him? So I agree with the sister Tazarpath. It doesn't matter. And if you already laid down with him, whether he makes money or not, he's your leader. And you should let him do so. I'll hand it over to you, Irene.
Yeah, I'm glad that Napah made that distinction, because I can agree with Tazarpath if you are in a relationship. I think it's different if you're going to get into a relationship. So for me personally, I'm not saying nothing is true 100% of the time, but 99.9% of the time, I would say no. So that's just me personally. Me personally, I feel that for every man, there is a woman suitable for him, right? So you should pick the woman that is suitable for you. And every woman should have the luxury of having a man that is her superior in every way. That doesn't have to be 100% of the time, like I said, but 99.9% of the time, for me, I need you to be superior to me in every way, morally, intellectually, financially. I need to be able to get pregnant. And I've been blessed to be able to be a stay-at-home mother and homeschool and all these things. And that is not possible if I'm carrying the weight of the household financially. I need to be able to rest in my womanhood. I need to be able to nurse my babies and comfortably stay at home and not have to worry. I need to have that as me personally, as a woman, to enter a relationship. Now, what happens while we're in the relationship, once we're in it, that's a commitment, and it is what it is. But I'm not going to enter a relationship on that footing, just me personally.
Valerie.
I think that it really doesn't matter what the man makes, as long as he is doing what he needs to provide, doing the things as a husband, as a man, as a leader. So yes, you're right. Typically the women now, especially Black women, they're gaining master's degrees. They're normally making way more than we have in the past. So you're going to have some type of discrepancy on her making more money, but that should not mean, because she's not going to take on all of the manly responsibilities in that. So she may, you know, the majority of her money may be to pay for those bills, those household bills. But at the same time, is she going to take out the trash? Is she going to get repair the tire? No. But I also agree with Irene. You have people that are suitable for you. So am I going to initially go into a relationship that doesn't make it look like what I'm looking for in my future, and having children and having a household? It could be that I find someone that we're both making the bare minimum, but I'm not gonna be the one making $250,000, and then someone that makes substantially that much less than me. But again, the job can be taken away at any time. So I agree with you on that, Irene, that you're not going to initially put yourself in that situation. But by chance, you fall in love with that person and he makes significantly less than you, but you guys can both manage the bills, I don't see a problem in that.
Right. I agree.
Quickly, let me say this really quickly, Sonetta. We got to think about it. What we want. We want a good worker, or we want a good earner, or we want a soldier. It's gonna be pretty hard to keep on going to some white man's job and clocking in, and then turn around and be against everything that same boss is giving you. You see what I'm saying? So we really need to think about that. It's going to be hard to be out here fighting the enemy, or what a lot of conscious brothers say, banging on the beast. And you got to check your ass in every Monday morning and clock in to that same beast. So if I have to take on multiple different things at once to allow my husband to be able to protect our nation, then I'm going to do that. If I have to be the one that brings in all the money, so my husband is able to do the work that he needs to do to protect us as a nation, then that's what I'm going to do. I think that when we say that, if he's not providing, what if he's not providing? The chips are stacked against our men in America. A lot of our men can't get jobs. They can't find work. And then then the opportunities are afforded to us because they think that we're easier to deal with, right? They're not scared of us in that way. So what if my man can't get a job? What if he can't? What if
he becomes an entrepreneur?
Yes.
I mean, that's fine too, but it's a whole lot of brothers. I'm from the hood. It's a whole lot of brothers that can't be an entrepreneur. That don't know how to be an entrepreneur. That's what I'm saying. When we talk about women and our role, then that's when you begin to plant those seeds in your man. When you really take account on what this country has done to our men now, because I can afford the opportunities to do this, then okay, let's start a business in my name, and then you run it. We got to learn how to serpentine through this business. So yes, then you be an entrepreneur. But there's a lot of brothers out here that can't be an entrepreneur. There's a lot of brothers out here that don't know, that don't even have the capability of having that startup because they've been stripped of everything. So we, as our women, when we allow ourselves to be taken as a man, when they gather us up, we have to begin to think in strategic ways in protecting and providing together and making each other available to do those things.
All right. Real quick. As a man, I'm looking at it like me having an 18-year-old daughter. I wouldn't like my daughter out there bringing in the bread because you making excuses about your man can't get a job and to me, that's a goddamn excuse. That man need to get out there and do what he got to do and do what a goddamn man's supposed to do. I don't want my daughter slaving all day to come home and bring a check home and give it to her man, because one thing I do know is that's what some of, not all, but that's what some of the Hebrew Israelites groups teach, to go to work and turn your damn check over to your man and let him rule. Hell no, I don't want that for my daughter. Hold on. I don't want that for my daughter. I want my daughter to go out there and find a man like your daddy took care of you. You get a man that's gonna love you, that's gonna do what he's supposed to do as a goddamn man, and of course you gonna lend your hand. See, if you don't want the woman to be equal to you, then goddamn it, do your damn job and let her do her job. Let her go in that room, cook, clean, and take care of this household, and you get your ass out there and you struggle. And make sure she got that water ready for you when your ass come home and your feet is tired. Nah, she should not be in your role and position all because of fucking love. Hell no. Love ain't gonna pay the damn bills. You see? So I don't want my daughter out there slaving to bring no goddamn check home for a man sitting on his ass on the computer doing hell no.
You talking about beta males? You're not talking about alpha males.
Hold on.
I'm talking about beta males.
Hold on, sister.
Talking about alpha males.
I'm just giving you my take on it. I respect everybody else's. I'm just telling you, I don't want that shit for my daughter. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying y'all wrong. Go ahead, Irene.
So my question is for Tazarapath. Do you feel that it is the woman's job to teach a man how to build a business and provide that aid? Or do you feel, because this has been my personal experience in my life, that other men should be, just like I should mentor women and teach them how to be women, right? That other men, it's their job to say, okay, brother, this is how we're going to get a business started. You can come work for me. You know, is it the job for the men to build together or for women to teach men how to build? Should we be supporting them and then they be building together? Or should we be, guiding and kind of nurturing them into a build? Okay. For me, the answer is the former. Men build and women support.
And I agree. I agree with that. I agree that other men should teach men and other sisters should teach sisters, and we should work off of that level. But I also understand that as a woman, there's certain things that I can say to my man that he may not hear from a there's certain things, there's certain ingenuities and creativities that a woman might have that could be a whisper, just a whisper in her man's ear that makes him cultivate an idea. So I do believe that men should teach other men, but I also believe that as women, we don't utilize that feminine energy that we have to encourage and motivate and empower our men to do things that they may not have thought of. You know what I mean? I think that we have that kind of energy and we have that kind of, men have a lot of ego. Sometimes it takes a man to be stripped down sometimes to take understanding and leadership from other black men. You know what I mean? Sometimes it takes a whisper in the ear from a woman for them to see something in a different way. There's a whole lot of ideas that my husband has that he think he had all on his own.
Hey, yo, whatever y'all do out there, do not block my brother Neo because he disagree with me. And he banging hard on me. Hey, Napah, he in there banging on me again saying, I told Sarnetta you are falling in love with the white man and I'm dealing with white colonialism. It's all good. I love you, my brother. I'm not mad at you. Leave him be. Let him stay in there. That's my brother from South Africa. So he's good. Let me go to the phone line.
We need to do a build with them too. I hope they we got to get their information.
Yeah, let me go to the phone line. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, peace. This is the Maki calling from Harlem.
Peace, my brother. Thank you for staying on the line. Waiting to get in, man. Go ahead. You got the floor, brother.
Yeah, no doubt, man. First, I want to say thanks, Sarnetta, for even having this discussion, this panel, man.
Yes, thank Napah. Thank Napah. She brought this up.
Much respect.
Yeah. Shout out to Sister Napah, man. Powerful sister. And I'm really
thank
just
the
happy
sisters
that you
too. Thank you to the sisters for taking their time. They didn't have to be on here. Much love and
Most
respect.
I basically want to go into earlier what Sister Tazarapath was talking about with regards to a man not having to have money to be the head of the household. I think is important because there is a demographic in the hood where a lot of brothers is coming home with records and they're not able to get jobs and they are trying to reestablish the order. So I would like the panel to basically bring out what are some of the things a man needs to have if he doesn't have finances to be able to still be the head. And not only that,
But if there's a child involved and there's a breakout between the man and the woman, even though he doesn't have a job, he's still at the head of the household.
Great question.
What are the rights of the child? Does the man have the rights of the child, or does the woman have the rights of the child? And that's my question.
Great question. I want to go to Valerie. Let me go to Valerie because she never started off a question. And
I
then
wanted to, but okay, Sonetta, you know
Go
what?
ahead, Valerie.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving the panel. That's it. I'm done. No,
Better
I'm just
not
kidding.
leave.
You don't know. Val is my sister.
Go ahead, Valerie, and then we go into Nepal. Go ahead, Val.
Yeah.
I am of the mindset, if a man does not work, he does not eat. So he's going to have to do something. And yeah, I go back to the Bible too.
I love that.
I'm going to say he's going to have to do something. I don't care if he's cleaning, he being a janitor, I don't care what, but he's going to have to bring something to the table. So I tell my son that now. You don't work, you don't eat. So this is the thing. He's not only is he going to have to bring that to the table, he's going to have to show me, just like I'm bringing my skills, and he's going to have to show me his skills. I'm going to have to see that he's compatible to me, and that where I am weak, he is strong, and vice versa, so we can be one. So as far as what was his other part of his question, as far as
the children, like who has the right?
Yeah, like when y'all split up or when stuff don't go right. Yeah, something like that.
Who has the right to the children?
Typically, and if you go into a court of law, it is going to, the mother for so many years is going to be the best interest of the child. Now, if she's working crazy hours and the husband or the child's father can prove and show that he can provide for that child and care for that child and be the nurturer of that child, and has been, if he could show the receipts, then it's going to be him. But she's going to get those rights. She's not going to relinquish her rights. She's still going to have the rights to be in that child's life and to have them. Her visitation may just be a little bit more irregular, but it's gonna depend on if you can prove that person is unfit, or if you are just the one who is the sole provider in terms of being the caretaker. So that's my thought on that.
Y'all there? Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to say this quickly. As a sister in the ISUPK, there's going to be times, because we're building a nation, right? We're building warriors from the ground up, and we're building a nation. And there's going to be times where, as sisters, we're going to have to step in financially or emotionally, or just as a support system to our men, and that might be hard. That might be hard sometimes. But when you have an agenda, we all have our eyes on a certain prize, right? So we're all working collectively to get to a certain goal. So there might be times when our sisters have to take on more financial responsibilities than our brothers, because we're trying to build a nation. But there's also times where our brother take on other responsibilities. It's weird the way the Black community does that, because a man could be with a woman for 20 years and she not work not one of those 20 years, and she's never called a deadbeat. But as soon as you're in a relationship with a man and he don't have a job 3 months, now he's a deadbeat. Now he's not doing his job. You see, the dynamics have changed. So I understand what everyone is saying, and nobody's telling you to have no broke beta male sitting on the couch playing video games while you flipping burgers at McDonald's. Like, come on, sis. But there, if you're working on a common goal, that's a conversation. Even in my own life, there's been times where my father has had to do different things in a life, and he has conversation with his wives. Okay, this is what we're going to have to do for this period of time for us to get to this place, for us to get to the next level. You see what I'm saying?
You said for his wives, he was polygamous?
I grew up in a polygamous household, yes.
Oh, okay.
So did I, sis. I did too.
I believe that a Black man has the right to have as many women as he wants to.
That's right. And you know what? We got to have a build on polygyny, just polygyny, because I'm pro polygyny. She's pro polygyny, and my sister Val is not pro polygyny, but she respects the concept. But we want. What about you, Irene? I just totally took the whole conversation to another, because this is more interesting. This is more interesting. What about you, Irene? What's your take on polygyny, sis?
My take on it is that I think men like the idea of it, but for it to be done correctly, I think few could actually execute it.
Oh,
good.
Okay.
So you're not opposed. Our sister Sheikah is like bare to the bone, tooth and claw, no polygyny. So we needed her right here. So she would have told you everything that's wrong with it.
All right, let me go to the phone line. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on? This is Jay Wednesday. I'm calling from Harlem.
All right, what's up? You said calling from Harlem?
Yes, sir.
Where you at in Harlem, brother?
145th. I actually passed you on my bike a few days ago, my brother. I was on my bike making a video. You
I got you.
I saw you.
That's right. I got you. I remember you. Peace, my brother. What's on your mind,
my brother? So actually, it was touching on it just now. I want to say respect to all the sisters up here. I'm loving this conversation. I've been sharing it.
Okay.
But they already touched on it. I was going to say to, especially actually, I was asking to Irene, for the brothers that are in a position to, are in a position to maybe take care of more than one woman or have the means to expand their love and their umbrella over more than one woman. I was going to ask, how did you feel about that, and how some of the other women felt about that? You already started talking about it, but if you would just keep going and just kind of elaborate on different ideas. I feel like sometimes, like I have two daughters and I got two baby mothers, and technically I can take care of both of them, but they don't get along. So I was just curious what you think about that.
Wait, ask the question one more time.
Answer that question one more time before I hang up on you, so they're all no.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just asking, what does everybody think about the idea of polygyny, and they can elaborate for a brother that has the means to take care of maybe more than one woman, how they feel about that. I said I have two kids, and both of the mothers, I could technically take care of both of them, but they don't really get along. So I was trying to explain. I was just curious what everybody thought about polygyny.
Okay, I would like to. Can I take this now? Can I speak now?
You can take it. Go ahead.
You're not gonna stop me, right? And
Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the floor. Thank you, brother. You can go back and listen.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead. You got it.
Sonetta knows I'm just playing. But yes, what is my take on his situation specifically? Talking about what Irene said, how you have to do it correctly. I first off, polygyny is the best marriage. That's me. That's Napah. Polygyny is the best relationship that will build our nation, bring sisters together. Sisters think that polygyny is just about men. It brings women together, but the man must come into a relationship saying, I'm a polygynist. Don't try to change me. If you don't want to be in a poly relationship, now I'm speaking to the brother situation. You don't want to be in a poly relationship, please step to, move aside. I'm poly. So what happens is, he didn't get to elaborate, but if you come into a relationship and you're poly, and then you get with the woman who is not poly, there's gonna be issues where you get the second wife, or I say second wife because the next wife, they're not gonna get along because you didn't establish a foundation. I'm putting the responsibility on the men. Men coming into a relationship, you must, if you're poly. Now let's say you got married before you became conscious about yourself and what is natural for you as a man. You're married, and then you say, to your wife, like, I feel like I want to be with someone else. That is how you should do it. If you didn't initially know that you were poly, and then you want to be poly, you put it to the wife. Now hear me out. If your wife says, no, I don't want to be poly, you have a situation to where you're going to have to respect what she says. It doesn't mean bow down to her. Respect what she says in the sense of, don't let her be involved in that relationship. Don't let that relationship affect her. But see, now it's a burden for you as a man because you didn't initially come into a marriage and say, I'm poly. So then some people say, well, that's cheating, Napah. No, it isn't, because a man's right is, and his right, not privilege, is to have more than one wife. However, if he's married to someone and he never didn't come into the marriage and say, I'm poly, but then he wants to be poly and she says no, you cannot expect her to just be like, okay, I'm poly, I'm happy with it. This is a deep topic. So I hope I address what he's saying. What I'm saying is he's going to have to keep those two separated. He's going to have to not take away from the time that he spends with one. He's to balance the time. He's going to have to keep them both happy. When one asks him, were you with that one? He has to say no. And that's not against the Bible. That's not against that's not cheating. She has clearly said, I don't want you to be with this other woman. It's like me telling a man, I don't want you to take showers every day, because that is his right. This is my belief. I believe men can be poly. So the bottom line is, don't go into a relationship with a woman that is monogamous if you don't want to have those problems as a polygynist. Now, I'm going to hand it over to the other sisters because there's so much more I could say, but I don't want to hog the time. I'm going to hand it over, throwing it out there. Y'all can disagree, Val, Irene. I mean, I know the sister was Tazara Path, anybody, but don't go into a relationship if you're poly, which all men are poly. Let me say this. Brothers, go into a relationship and tell your woman, I believe I will want another woman. I'm pretty sure I'm going to marry another woman down the line. And then if she says, well, I don't want to be with you, move on to the woman who will be able to understand. That way you'll have peace. And every man will want to, oh God, I know Val, you probably like, not my man. No, but listen, and let me say this carefully. Naturally, men will want to be polygynists. They want to practice polygyny in their marriage. Now, if he's sworn to monogamy and he's just one woman man, that's between y'all. But naturally, let me hand it over.
Naturally,
go ahead,
what?
Cesar Pot. Go ahead, sis.
Most black women have been in polygyny or polygynous relationships, whether they know it or not.
Thank you.
Most black women have. So if you have children by a man that has children by another woman, what you think that is? I mean, we got to stop playing games like it's a lot of things that we get down with that we don't get down with because we don't want to seem like that. Y'all need to stop it. And if your man decides, you could be with a man and have a wonderful monogamous relationship. And we talk about Africa so much, right? We talk about Africa and where we came from, but when it comes to this, we don't want to talk about Africa now. We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that. We didn't come off no slave boats monogamous. That's a Western culture. That's a European way of life. So any other time we want to talk about Africa until we start talking about that. And if your man decides, if you're married to a man and he decides, I'm going to take another wife, what you going to do about it? Either you going to ride or you ain't going to ride. What you going to do? You either going to ride or you ain't going to ride. You know what I'm saying? And that's the truth. Now, if this man loves you and respects you, every man doesn't have to have more than one woman. Right. It's his right to have, but he doesn't have to have more than one woman, right? But if he decides to take another wife, that ain't on you. You don't control that. That's not on you. If he decides to take another wife, either you gonna ride or you not gonna ride.
All right, hold on. My one of my moderators in the building, Latika Bush. Oh, she's not a moderator. Damn, let me make my sister a moderator because she's been fucking with me for a minute. My sister Latika Bush says, polygamy is just nasty. That's how she feels. My sister Latika Bush is like, polygyny is just nasty.
How many men has she slept with that have slept with another woman before? How many times have you been in a relationship where he had a side woman and was sleeping with somebody else? So if it's nasty, then it's a whole lot of nasty stuff going on. I could think of a whole lot of things y'all doing behind closed doors that's nasty.
Right. And let me just say this. That's right, Sister Tazarapath. And I want to say, this is why you want to be
I got a
on
real
board
good
with
question.
you want to be on board with poly, sisters, because when you're on board with poly, your man he's more comfortable speaking to you about natural things, which is him having more than one wife. You don't want to be in the dark completely. In fact, a man doesn't have to tell you anything, but usually when you have a good rapport with your husband, you know he loves you, he tells you, yeah, I want this other woman as a wife, you can see her. You don't play yourself, sisters. Don't play yourself short. Let your man, and don't be fake either, because it's going to be a catastrophe, a disaster. Let him know, yes, I'm open to it, but talk to me. Let me know who I want to. That doesn't mean that you have to run her through a whole test, but he'll open up more to you. He'll tell you, well, I like this sister. You can find out, oh, she's not so bad. Oh, I like that sister. I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to get personal. These sisters on the panel, all these sisters, I would be sister wife. Because you got to be able to say, you don't want him to just be with any old body. So you want to be able to see who your husband is wanting to be with. You don't want him to feel like, I can't tell her, she's going to kill the whole world. Remember what Lord Albert told us? So yeah, it's not nasty. You're already sleeping with brothers that been sleeping with whoever. So
that's
anyway.
right. I agree. It's not nasty. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name and where you calling from? Let's go. What's your name?
My name is my name is Rios, and I'm calling from Harlem.
All right, Rios. Where you at in Harlem, brother?
105th Street.
Okay. All right. Let's get it in.
East Harlem. Harlem.
Okay, I got you. Let's go.
Yeah, I have two questions. The first question is, at the time of war, if a brother or a sister that is not a Hebrew Israelite, let's say that brother or sister is an African Hamite, or she's a Hamite, she's a Hamite, or he's a Hamite, and he's a child. He's a child, right? And they needed some food. Would a Hebrew Israelite give that child some food? That's the first question. Second question is, do a sister need to submit to her man without that Bible?
Okay, I'm not going to be long. In a time of war,
we are in a time. In other words, we in a time of war, as we know. We in a time of war as we speak right now. Our people are at war. Black people are at war. So
I always say, brother, or a brother.
Sorry, go on.
I always say black people are not at war, and people get mad at me when I say that. If we at war, brother, we are not going to Chinese restaurant buying no damn Chinese food. If black people was at war, we would not be out there just going to McDonald's and all that shit. No, the white man is at war with us, but we don't even understand the goddamn level of war. Because if we was at war, brother, we ain't doing all the shit that we do today. We not on YouTube. We not dressing to impress our women. The women ain't dressed. Brother, we ain't got time for that. If we was at war, we'll be at war like the goddamn Palestinians and all them other people. We gotta stop. Hold on. We gotta stop playing with the game war and making this shit like it's child's play. We ain't at no damn war, brother. The white man is at war. But go ahead, I'm gonna let you go, brother. Go ahead, finish off.
Okay, so correction. You're right, something. My question is this: you had interviewed one time a Hebrew Israelite in the past from the R.I.S.E and an African child. Remember that?
Yes, that's brother.
Okay, I knew that's what he was talking about.
So I'm asking a similar question. In this time that we in right now, we in a crisis. If a sister or brother that's a Hamite and they have a cookout with these sisters, let's say it was sisters doing a cookout. The question to my sisters is, would they feed that child if that child was a female child?
Okay, let me just quickly say this.
Let's say instead of a little boy, it was a little girl.
I got it. We got it, brother. We got it.
All right, we got it, brother. Stay on. I'm gonna let you stay on.
We got it, brother. We got it, brother. And the answer is this. I knew you were kind of alluding to something that happened in the past and people won't let it go. Okay. Obviously, we see Sanetter, one of his dearest brothers is the brother Tazariak. Let's keep it a buck because that's what he's talking about. they don't agree as far as their doctrines go, but they are brothers. So just to cut to the chase, instead of you just coming in and saying, you know, the thing about what happened with the brother, the answer is, would he let the brother Sonetter starve? Would he let him starve? No. So next, I mean, this is the thing. Stop trying to stir up contention and division. We have enough contention and division already. Use your eyes and use wisdom to make your own observations. You see, the brother always is there, respecting and interacting with his brother Sonetter. Sonetter's not a Hebrew Israelite. Don't come in here with that hack. Come on, brother. It's like boring already. Oh, would you feed a Hamite child? Come on, brother. Come on. We know we're Black people. We get it. We have different beliefs. We have different philosophies. But the answer is, do you see him loving? Do you see Sonetter loving the brother Tazariak? Do you see him loving Pastor Bennett? Do you see Pastor Bennett loving Sonetter? It's about how we interact as a people. So I'm going to hand it over to the sisters. But enough of all this.
So you
hold on, brother. First of all, I wouldn't even consider him a goddamn Hamite. I would consider him as an African brother or little sister. To me, I'm not looking at him as that, because I don't believe in that he's a damn Hamite. He's a human being who happens to be
Hebrew.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the African
Would
child.
you go against a Hebrew?
No,
or with
no,
he's saying with Hebrews, will we as Hebrews turn against somebody?
I agree with you, Nepal, because we got to understand that's just their practice in their culture, in their religion. So I understand that. You understand? But I agree with Nepal. Let's let some other sisters answer that question.
But what about the question that I asked? Do you need that Bible to be submissive?
Oh, that's a good one.
You don't.
You don't need the Bible to be submissive. Absolutely not.
But the Bible solidifies it and says, oh, wait a minute, I've been doing this all along, and it says it's right. Well, I knew it was something in me. So we're naturally supposed to be submissive. Like I said, our bodies as women are designed to be entered. I didn't do it. And
yeah, but I don't care what any of my sisters would say up here concerning a child. I believe that they would feed the child. I don't give a damn if they say he's African or whatever. I believe that they will feed that Black child. I don't care.
Exactly.
I know they would. I say what the hell they want right now. I know deep down in their heart, they're going to feed that baby.
I'm not feeding my enemies anything.
Hold on.
I agree. I think they would. I think they would too. But I was
hold on, brother, because now it's getting deep. Tazorapop, he's saying, will you feed that African baby, that girl, the African girl, if she was hungry?
I'm not feeding my enemies anything. I'm not feeding my enemies children.
Okay, I got a question.
But that's my sister's religion.
But you know
so
what?
We ain't gonna argue with her. We'll let her go.
The Most High will make the situation, and she'll use her wisdom and she'll use her judgment. And I feel like, you know, this is the thing. Let me, because I know the sister is in ISUPK and she has.
It's not about the ISUPK. Let me say this. It's not about the ISUPK. I've had pantries. I got pantries all over the country. I've been feeding people, and I've been feeding Black people all over the country for over 20 years. And my stance is I'm not feeding my enemies' children. That's it, and that's all. So,
well, do you think the African, if you see a little African person, American,
I'm not about to ask nobody, I'm not about to ask no child, are you African?
Thank you.
And
okay,
then not
perfect.
give them a plate
there
of food.
you go. Okay,
that's
so
not
there
what
you go.
That's not what I'm doing.
Got it.
But if you're telling me that, do I have the capability of letting
the child thank you, man. I just wanted to call it in and ask that question.
Go ahead, thank you.
I'm going to say this. If you're asking me if I have the capability of not feeding a child just because it's a child, you damn right. Because my enemy, that child, is going to grow up to be somebody that's got a foot on one of my people's neck. So no, I'm not. I have the capability of letting any little enemy baby starve and not think twice about it. Now, am I going to be out here asking, are you African? Are you African? And then not give them a plate of food? No, that's ridiculous.
So Tazorapop, what about an African from West Africa? Do you see him as an enemy as well? West African?
Anybody that's against or anybody that's an op is an enemy. Anybody that's in cahoots with my enemy is an enemy. I don't fuck with people that fuck with people I don't
No,
fuck
no,
with.
that's not what I asked you. I said,
I can't
let's
tell
say we have a child from West Africa and they are on the line to eat, and you know that that child is a West African child from West Africa. Would you feed that child?
I'm feeding people. Am I
Okay.
going to West Africa to feed West Africans? No.
Right.
But I'm not about to sit and start, oh, because this person's an African, get them out the line. But I will if it's a white person. If there's a white person in my line,
Okay.
they gotta get out. They gotta
All right,
go
let's
out
move
back
on.
and
Let's
they
move
gotta-
on from here.
They gotta go out back and they gotta get the scraps the same way they gave us the innards, the same way they gave us the intestines and the foot of animals. And so if you come to my pantry, that's the reason why I got pantries. You want to eat and you're white, you can't eat here unless you want to wait out back and get the scraps I throw in the trash. Dig them out.
Can I answer the Bible?
Hold on. Go ahead, Irene.
I was just gonna say, for me, whether the Bible is necessary for submission, well, God's word is written on our hearts, so that's something we'll do naturally. But I also want to say that the Bible is there, God's word is there for our perfection. So we are made better in our submission through the study of the word.
Right. And Senator, before you cut me off, I just want to say this. I understand the issue about the enemy, but I do want to say, for the record, for myself, I despise the enemy. However, whether people see it wrong or right, I would never turn a child away from food. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not looking at this little blonde baby thinking, you're gonna grow up to be a real devil. But no, I just couldn't not feed a child. That's just me. That's why I said this before. When I first became a Hebrew Israelite in 2011, and I was following R.I.S.E, and they were telling me about the rules and no Hamites, no this. And I was like, wow, but I have a lot of African friends and I feel like they're the same as me. But they were like, no. Those are the devils. They're against it. Well, those are the enemy. I said to one of the brothers, they said, and then they start talking about we're going to kill their babies because they dashed our children's heads against the rocks. I said, I couldn't do that. I have to speak on this because I said it. This is where women, maybe there's women who are like the Sister Tazarpak. She's more of a stronger, stomach, or I couldn't harm children. That's my problem. I can't, that was my issue, or that is my issue with my brothers and sisters of the faith. I'm not gonna turn food away from children. I'm not going to harm babies. I'm not going to hurt elderly people, even though they probably lived a wicked life. I'm gonna let whoever else, if you wanna do that, that's on you. But if I'm present and a child is hungry, I'm feeding the child, and that's just
Valerie, you want to speak on that?
I would definitely feed the child. It's a child, and its innocence is within him. So I understand he might grow up to be a mass murderer. We probably have some within our own families. So if it's a child, I'm not going to kill a child. I'm not going to withhold food from a child. I understand as far as this is the enemy, but a child is, we have to keep that separate. Feed the child, and then, that child is not going to stop me from loving my brothers and sisters. It's just not.
Okay. I want to say real quick, first of all, it is the Most High job to say whether or not should I feed that child. It's the Most High job. He created you for a reason, right? So if he created everybody for a reason, why would you want to step in and try to do the job of the Most High? No, you let the Most High deal with that. If you want to punish the child, the Most High punish the child. You can't step in that position and say, I'm not feeding. But anyway, I don't want to go through that again. What I want to say is I want to thank each and every one of my sisters tonight Sister Tazora Path bringing that fire that we have missed for so long. Sister Nepal, of course. I mean, Sister Irene just going in. I love the balance from Sister Irene. And of course, my sister, Valerie, bringing that balance. I think this was a good call that you did, Sister Nepal.
And
we're
Sister
gonna have to
Sheikah, don't leave Sheikah out. She left.
Oh, right, that's right, Sister Sheikah
Yes.
as well. I think this was beautiful. I think it was lovely, and we're gonna do a part 2 with Sister Nepal. And make sure y'all go and subscribe to her. If y'all not subscribed, y'all gonna miss out. We got to bring in Sister Monica Lamb on the next round. You know what I'm saying? I just love it. What I would like to do is give each and every one of you the opportunity to close out. Make sure you let people know where they can find you. What are you doing? What is your YouTube channel? What is your social media? Give the people that info so they know where to follow you at. And I'm going to go with you first, my sister Valerie.
Shalom, family. Thank you for having me on, Sonetta and Napah. I appreciate you having me on. You guys can find me on social media, Valaya Nazar. Also, I have a business for beauty, wellness, and travel under Bodied by Val. And that's on Instagram and Facebook. And I will handle all your travel needs, your wellness. You need vitamins, immunity supplements, anything like that. I got you.
Wow, there you go. And once you do it, you can see yourself out. I don't want to walk you to the door. Y'all can see yourself out. I know that's not manly of me, but I'll let y'all walk yourself out. You know, all right.
Shalom.
Let's go with my sister Irene. Give everything. Let the family know where they can find you at. More information, just go in, sister. This is unlimited. So take your time and just shoot.
Oh, okay. Well, my name is Irene Yvette. I have some channels here on YouTube. My main channel is called Irene Yvette. So feel free to check it out. I think actually probably an interesting video for some people here that I just did ties into this conversation about feeding enemies' children. And if children are out of the equation, I actually talk about how the Bible, you know, there's a point where God commanded several points.
You said you did something on feeding enemies' children?
Well, I did something on slavery, and I made reference to the scriptures that refer to killing the children, the male children, the men and the women who are not.
I'm interested in hearing your take on that in a short synopsis. What is your take on that? Because we didn't hear from you.
On slavery?
On feeding the enemy's children.
Oh, so I'm not a Hebrew Israelite, but me personally.
Well, you're a Christian.
Yeah, so
you're close to me. Y'all the same.
I'll feed any child. But if we were really in a situation like a war situation, it is wise. And that's what I was talking about in my video. It is wise, and that's why God ordered it, to kill all of the men children, all of the men, and all of the females that are not virgins. That's just wise, because as the sister was saying, Tazara Path was saying, otherwise you have people that could grow up and be vengeful, right? And their vengeance can be problematic. So if we were being strategically speaking, those groups, but the virgin females, we could feed them. But so that would be like if we were, you know, actually fighting war. But just as it is, I would feed any child the way things are now. If I saw a child hungry, I would feed that child.
Okay. You can finish closing out.
Okay. Basically, what I'll say is feel free to visit my channel, Irene Yvette. I really appreciate Napah having me on, because I think she's technically our host, even though Sonetta is our moderator. And so I appreciate you having me on as well.
You're welcome.
I love, and I hope what people take away from this is that you can have different opinions and beliefs within our community, and we can still work together for the greater good of everybody. And I think that's important. And I'm so glad I had opportunities first to sit and be opposed in areas and in agreement in areas, and for people to have that experience be reflected as something versus us constantly battling each other and fighting each other and dragging each other, especially amongst women, because this can be a problem when you get a lot of women in a space. So it was super positive, and I appreciate being part of it.
Well, Nepal pricked the right woman. Thank you. Thank you, my
Right.
sister
We
Irene.
appreciate you too, sis, and we'll see you for part 2, hopefully. Thank you for taking the time.
So, good night, you guys.
Yes.
All
peace,
right.
good night.
I'm happy to bring back the warrior back here, man. It's a blessing to see Tazora Path come back and drop it and do it the way only she could do it. Bring that fire and bring that passion. And I speak of none other than Captain Tazora Path. Captain Tazora Path. I'm only joking with you. Sister Tazora Path.
You see how messy you are?
Yeah. Go ahead. Sister Tazora Path. Go ahead, sister.
You know what? I appreciate having a conversation with other Black women. And I appreciate our young ladies that are able to see Black women that are not twerking, that are not
right.
not giving it up like that, and talking in a way, talking about femininity and being submissive and showing the strength in that. So I really enjoyed having that conversation. You can get me on Instagram, TAZARAPATH, like fabulous. You know what I mean? Like and on Instagram, you can go to my website, the Healer's Pantry, if you want to get fresh food directly, meal prep sent directly to your home. Sea moss, everything. We got everything.
Before you leave too, Tazora Path,
yes,
I want to let you know that Nepal loved your music. She kept saying, "Oh, Sarnetta, singing your part all day. Oh, Sar, I love this right here. We got to get Tazora Path on the show." I mean, yeah, make sure you talk about that. Shout out to my brother Jamal as well. And you gotta drop your music. I'm gonna let people know. I heard the other music that's coming out, and I was telling her, I said, you're gonna have a problem trying to compete with this other one that came out. But no, they really not. I heard it, and I heard the second album. I got a little.
A little pull.
I got a little promo on the side. Nobody heard it yet, but I'm gonna tell y'all, it's fire. And I want to be in that damn video. Go ahead, sister. Talk about that.
But yeah, I wanted to say, go to thehealerspantry.com and check out some of our raw meals, our vegan meals. We grow everything that we make. So we have pantries in Georgia, we have pantries in New York, we have community gardens in Georgia, West Oakland, East Oakland, New York, and Atlanta, Georgia. So anybody that wants to volunteer in one of the community gardens, just hit me up in a DM and we can get that working. I also wanted to say that the Black people, it's time for us to realize that we need to do something different. We need to have some more compassion for one another. We need to have some more understanding for one another, and we need to unify, regardless of who believes in what. My problem is not with other Black folks. My problem is with other Black folks that would choose to unite themselves with our enemy. That's where the problem lies. And now that this world is in a place, in this country is in a place that's very volatile and very touchy. I just want to reach out and say to our men and our women that this is the time now that we need to begin to be mindful of one another, loving on one another, having acceptance for one another, because there's going to be a time where we're going to have to do something different, and we need to be mentally ready for that. We need to be emotionally ready for that. So I appreciate the bill. Hit me up on the gram, Tazara Path. Get that Black and Proud single right now. It's on all streaming networks, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Tidal, Black and Proud. Jamal featuring yourself.
What's the next single gonna drop? What's the next one?
I don't know. We're gonna have to keep you waiting for that.
Bring the king in, man. I see he on the side. Bring him in. Ask him when it's gonna drop.
Oh, it's gonna take a minute.
We're gonna put pressure on Jamal. Yo, Jamal, when is dropping, brother?
It's coming.
All right.
The screen on you like, yeah. But yeah, get that single. It's the anthem. It's the voice of the streets. You know what I'm saying? It's the voice of the people right now.
Because I'm Black.
Sis, it's the voice of the revolution. It came at the precise time. It's hot. It's fire. It's revolutionary. It's legendary.
It's the time, right?
I have my whole household singing the song. My daughter, she's 9. My son, it's hot. It's just the Most High just put it on you and the brother.
Yeah.
Much love and respect to you. So go on, finish
Thank
up,
you,
sis. I
sis.
just want to
Thank
jump
you,
in and say it's the
That's all.
revolution.
I mean, that's all. That's
It's
all
an
I gotta
anthem.
say. Everybody know what it is. You wanna get with me? I'm in the street. I'm in the hood. I'm in the I'm in the mud. I'm in the dirt. You know what I mean? And everybody that knows me knows that I love Black people. It's a charge over my life. I'll never do anything different. I'll never leave you. I'll never surrender. I'll never give up. I'll fight for you in this life and the next.
Thank you, Queen. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All
Thank you,
right, you can let
sister.
yourself out. You can let you know how to
Bless
let
you.
you know how to let yourself out.
Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Shamar Ilatah.
You know how to let yourself
That
out.
was very good, sis. Yes, I
Yes,
do.
sis.
Shalom,
All right.
Yahweh Shema, Alatham, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai.
Yes, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
All right. Peace.
Beautiful.
All right.
Wow.
Now, Sister Napah, I want everybody to know I'm dropping the link inside. Make sure I already checked it out and I seen y'all subscribing to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to Sister Napah Shadah, and there go the link right there because we're going to be doing part 2 over there. All right. So we want to get this channel up and running so we can begin to, do what we do. A lot of stuff going on over here. And
plus,
that like button.
plus YouTube, we're gonna like avert not avert. We're going to divert the negative energy from YouTube by
there you
channeling
go.
it.
Yeah. There you go.
You get what I'm saying?
So, Sister Napah, it's on you to close out. Thank you for this build, sister. You did it again, and it's on you to close out.
You know what, Son Nutter, I can't take all the credit. First and foremost, thank you to you for being an amazing host and gracious, welcoming host, letting the sisters and me, letting the sisters and I come onto your panel and just dialogue. Much love and respect to those beautiful sisters. I feel so energized just being able to sit with powerful minds, which are my sisters. We don't do it enough. And even though we had a lot at times, very, very opposing views, we still kept the common thread of respect, of being Black women, and putting that energy out to build. So much love to my sisters who are on the panel. And you see, don't play with me saying you're gonna get Dr. Shahrazad Ali on here.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a little too late right now for me to call her, but I'm gonna call her tomorrow. Make sure
yeah. That would be an honor is an understatement. But much love to the family. Peace, love, peace and Black love, peace and Black power to the family out there. Thank you for tuning in. YouTube can't stop what is set to be. YouTube cannot stop what the Most High wants, and YouTube cannot stop Black people because we are forced to be reckoned with, and they will bow down. All right, I'm done. Thank you, Son Nutter.
All right, peace, Queen. Appreciate
What are you doing? Reading the chat?
Yeah, Neo is in the chat. Neo, our South African family.
Maybe we could get his wife on the next panel.
Oh, we would definitely need her. Oh, we need that Winnie Mandela voice back in here.
Yeah, shout out to my sister Neo.
If people don't know who she is, go and check. Like I said, go and check out on the Paul channel where we interview them. And fire, you're gonna be looking at who I said.
So I keep saying, did you get their information? Because you said you did, brother. Did you get it? I'm sorry, did you?
I don't think so.
The South African family, put your
info. No, I didn't. But I'm hoping they emailed me this time because I put it in the email. Drop your
info in the chat, so we can reach out because definitely that was a strong. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Go ahead.
You sure?
Finish.
All right. Okay. Well, no, I'm just saying, drop your info and thank you, Son Nutter. You are the king of consciousness, and much love to you. Thank you. You need to go get your car, though.
I know. Peace and Black Power, family. We out of here.
Peace and Black power. Peace and Black love.
Subscribe. Napah TV, Napah TV, Napah TV, Napah TV, Napah TV, Napah.